Friends, we are back. October 1st, 2023, Virtual Strangers, episode 200 is on the air. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends, Eric. Welcome back to the East Coast, brother.
What's up, fellas? Feels good to be back on the East Coast.
East Coast. What's up, son? And of course, my good friend Ruuts, my hetero life mate of 200 episodes. What's up, Ruuts? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, actually. I'm just crazy. We were just saying how quickly 2 years went by since MASH has been here. How quickly, what has it been? 5 years? Or almost 5 years? Or has it been 5? Maybe it's not been quite 5 years, but since
Almost.
yes, since Main Fan and Alex were around, and that's just crazy. The time is flying.
Yeah, so for those of you who were confused by the little false intro that we had going on there, those were the channel's founders, Ruuts and myself, alongside Justin, aka Main Fan, and Alex, aka Virtual Insider. Those were the founders of this channel in March of 2019. Actually, we started working together in February 2019, and then we had our first episode in March. And it was a work in progress. We were all very new to it. We kind of learned on the air, and then 4 became 3, 3 became 2, and then Eric, you came along, and since then I feel like we've really kind of come into our own.
The big
Yeah,
toe.
it feels really good, man. It was weird. We kind of hit it off pretty well right away. You guys were 2 for a long time. Like, yeah. It's tough to go from 4 to 2 and then get used to 2 for a long time. And you guys had some of your best stuff when it was just the 2 of you. So to get another third back in, and we didn't. It's not like we really knew each other. Especially me and Wes didn't really know each other that well when I came in. Me and Ruuts had known each other a little bit more because we streamed a lot together, but we kind of hit it off pretty quickly. It was surprising how well I think we did right away. But I would recommend to those people, go back and watch some of those early episodes. Like go back and watch 1 through 10, man. Actually watch them all. They're really, really good.
Yeah, the first ones are horrible. Well, not horrible. They're just, there's a reason why you get seasoned, right? It takes time, and when you're supposed to be before all the eyes, that's when you shine. That's why you take shortcuts.
With those early like train wreck episodes, like it wasn't just that we were all new to speaking on the microphone and doing this type of stuff, like which we were. Everyone was nervous. No one knew how to talk in the microphone. We all were just going every other word was and that was just part of it, right? Because the other part of it was we didn't know how to operate microphones and cameras properly, so our audio sucked all the time. It was not good, but you got to be bad before you can be good. By the way, shout out to Alex and Justin for helping us put that little segment together there, because they were going to come on. I talked to them a few weeks ago, invited them on to come on and do a segment for this episode. They agreed, but in typical West fashion, I waited to the last minute to try to put it together. And with Justin and his personal schedule, and Alex and him being in a completely different time zone overseas, we couldn't make the scheduling happen. But those guys did take the time out to pull their cameras out, dust them off, so that we can put that little joke together. So shout out to those guys for being super cool and allowing us to start off with a laugh.
Yeah, I miss them. Yeah, it was cool.
But welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 200. It is a celebration, bitches. We don't have a normal show lined up for today. We're going to we're going to get Eric's impressions of California in just a moment, but we're here. We're just going to shoot the shit a little bit. We're going to give away some stuff, some really cool stuff, and then we have a very special guest interview from Anthony of VR365. Now, in case you all didn't catch the announcement earlier, the Anthony interview was pre-recorded a few days ago.
Oh man, I wanted to see him again.
I'm gonna call him right now, see if I can get him on.
Yeah, Anthony, come on.
But I told him that, there was a lot of people that missed him. He didn't seem to really particularly believe it. But I'm sure that he's going to be watching this. If not right now, then he'll be watching it tomorrow or something. So if you guys miss Anthony the way we do, just say it. Say it in the comments, say it in the chat. Let him know.
Hey, before we get too far ahead, we got 5 super chats in there, Wes.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to start losing them here on your thing if you want to.
Well, I scrolled up so that I wouldn't lose them. Okay. So good call. Let's take a look at some of these donations. By the way, you guys are awesome. The giveaways that we're doing on today's episode are pretty much stuff we're paying for. I didn't go out like I normally do and solicit for giveaway keys from the studios and stuff because I'm about to do that for the 2023 show. I didn't want to double dip. So everything we're giving away, or most of what we're giving away today, is stuff that's funded from the Patreon and from donations like this. So shout out to everyone right off the top. Shout out to Guido specifically, because when I told him what we're going to be doing here today, he put up $100 straight into our PayPal. So shout out to Guido. But shout out to Bluebell, who was the first to donate. Bluebell says, congratulations on show 200. Thank you guys for all your hard work. I think I speak for the family. We appreciate what you do. Well, we appreciate what you do, Bluebell, and what all of you do, spreading the word, showing up to all the shows. Like Ruuts said, it's been almost 5 years, and you all are still showing up. Even after we, go off the face of the earth for a couple of weeks, show up in the middle of the night on Sunday, and here you all are. So thank you, Bluebell, and thank you, everyone.
Yep.
I would have loved to see if I could have made it for that interview to have like a rant off with Anthony.
That would have been cool.
If we could have gotten a juicy topic and both of us flip out, we would have broke the internet.
Yeah. Well,
actually, I don't want to spoil anything. I was going to
spoil it. I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah. It was very measured. He didn't rant. I mean, believe me, he had plenty of criticism, but he didn't like blow up and go off. He's not emotionally attached to it anymore, Ruuts. It's kind of the big takeaway I had from it.
Yeah,
seems happier, doesn't he?
He does. And my second takeaway was how much I miss Anthony being around. So
we told him that too. We told him that it really doesn't have much of anything to do with VR or any of that sort of things. He's kind of a leader of the community that we sprang forth from. Right? He's a personality, somebody that we just love spending time with. So. We all miss him, and we tried to make sure that he knew that.
Yep, absolutely. And Gamer Chick tells Eric to toughen up, stop being such a wuss, Eric, because everybody else is being so nice. She's got to take the other end. And in that fashion, Tiffany, we love you, and we need to get into some walkabout mini golf with you soon.
I want to play. What was it? She was talking about playing. Was it Crossfire Sierra Squad?
Oh my God!
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be good.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
It was either that or Firewall. I'd be down for either one.
I'd rather
virtual
go Alvo.
There you go. We'd be down for that. We can get 10 in that one.
Yeah.
Virtual Slayer Cat with the fucking insanity. $100 Canadian. Happy 200th to my favorite game recommenders. Can you recommend my first Quest 3 game purchase that isn't on PSN? Metal Horns. Well, I think that this is a one or the other proposition, and Eric will speak a little more on it in just a few minutes. But I think it's pretty obvious. We have 2 AAA games that are being launched with that headset. Well, in the window, not being launched with it, but in that
one comes
window.
with it, right? Well, not AAA.
Yeah.
Or Asgard's Wrath.
That's
too,
true.
I guess. Would you consider that AAA?
I would consider it AAA.
Yeah. That's
I
absolutely.
mean, maybe not the
AAA
size
game.
of a AAA studio, but I think quality-wise, I think it would be AAA for sure.
And that's a good point, though, Ruuts. It does come with it. So if you have a Quest 3, you're going to get that game. So that narrows it down, bro. I'd say that Assassin's Creed is going to be the way to go. That game looks cool. They have designed it to be open world, which I don't know how open it will be, but from what I'm hearing, the levels are pretty expansive, and that's exciting. So that would be my recommendation.
The only thing I think with that, and I'd have to probably confirm this through Meta, but I think if you get the 512 version, you don't get Asgard's Wrath. You get
Are you
6
kidding
months.
me?
You
Oh,
get
no.
6
You
months
get-
of the Quest network, right?
You get
Or
both.
the
You
whatever.
get both.
You get both? Is it both?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
I was
that
gonna
yet.
say, don't
Yeah.
penalize me for spending more money. It's fucking.
Would you
weird.
rather
You
have
get both.
Asgard's Wrath or 6 months worth of Quest? What is it called? Quest.
Asgard's
whatever.
Wrath. Well, I mean, I would
Oh, me too,
rather
but-
have the Asgard's Wrath because I already have all these games that are coming on the subscription thing. But that is a pretty cool little, bonus. They overpriced the upgrade a little bit, right? Making it a $150 buy up for what is essentially a $40 to $50 hard drive that they added into it. But at least they gave you $115 subscription service for your trouble.
Let me ask you this: why stay with 128? Like, wouldn't it make sense to go 256, 512? Like, that
Well,
was so.
I was
weird to
surprised
me.
there wasn't a 256,
Yeah.
really.
The reason why is because if they gave people 256, then they wouldn't buy up to the one they want everyone to buy,
Right.
which is
Well,
the more
but
expensive one.
it's kind of I feel like it's disingenuous in a sense because we just had the 64 gig model that people got fucked out of. Oh, you can't play the any of the games, I guess, or was it the 128? When they basically couldn't fit the last game? Was it?
It was 64. Yeah.
Yeah, the
It was
Medal of
64,
Honor or
yeah.
whatever.
You could barely fit it. You had to get rid of everything except for the operating system,
So are we
which
not?
you can't get rid of.
Can we not concede that we're like on the door of 128 almost being there? Like that's.
I would think so.
I just feel like
I would-
that's kind of scummy to me, but I don't know.
They said that Asgard's Wrath 2 is a bigger game than Asgard's Wrath 1. They say it's bigger than Skyrim.
Mhm.
So like
That's
you got to
crazy.
think that's going to chew up that 100 and some odd gigabyte
I don't know why anybody.
SSD pretty quick.
I don't know why anybody would buy that model unless that's the only way you're gonna get into VR. Like,
Well, I mean, I
that's
get it. I get it. It's right. It's $150 is a lot of money,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah,
So
but
I get
to
why
save
people
up
are
a
going
little
for
bit
it.
more. To me, it would be worth saving up and waiting an extra few weeks or a month or 2 months because you're pigeonholing yourself and people. And I heard this at the 64. Oh, it's enough. And then the same people were complaining that they were getting screwed. And I would say I won't have any sympathy, but I'll still have sympathy because that's just me. But you have one chance to get it right now, right? So
Radio Runt, the fourth stranger, apparently.
From Chat
coming-
GPT says so.
Yeah, coming through with the $9.99 US donation, says congratulations on 200. Thank you, Radio Runt. Yeah, I just got curious and asked GPT-4 the other day if they've heard of us, which they said they had, and they gave me a little bit of a history on our channel, which was pretty cool. I said, well, do you know the host names? Because I wanted to see if it knew who I was. And they said, yeah, the hosts are Wes, Ruuts, ROOT, Ruuts,
Masher.
Masher, and
Very formal.
Radio,
ChatGPT.
yeah, Radio Runt. So congratulations, Radio Runt. You are the fourth stranger, apparently.
Yeah,
He
he's the
feels
one.
like he could be the fourth stranger.
He could be. He's been here from the beginning, and he's right there with the sunglasses on in the picture. So,
Nice. Nobody knows that was modeled after him.
yep.
Hold on a second. My dog's being a turd.
I do love me some Radio Runt, and we need to get in and play with some Radio Runt. I haven't played anything for a long time.
Yeah. Well, last time we played was from Other Sons, and last time.
Yeah, why haven't we been back into that?
I don't know. We talked about it last time. We said, yeah, we need to get back in there. I'm surprised Wes needs to get in there. Yeah, you need to pick that game up if you
Dude.
have a
that'd be
coupon
cool.
for Meta, like a cheaper thing for Meta.
Don't even talk to me about playing old games right now. We're sitting here on October 1st on what might be the most jam-packed month of new VR game releases that we've ever seen. Like there's something like close to 30, 20, 25 or 30 games coming out this month. And I'm so intimidated by it. I don't know how in the world we're going to do Game of the Month next month. Like,
We're going to be
how are we
leaning
going
on the community
yeah.
a lot for whatever we don't get
Yeah,
into.
apparently so. Apparently so. Tatum with the $5 US says 200, 200. I see 500, 750, 1,000, and so on. Congrats. Thank you, Tatum.
Aylin
1,000
Kara,
Ruuts.
1,000. All right. Well, Aylin Kara says they
Let's do it.
wants to hear this. Radio Run, Idaho. That's for you, Aylin,
Nice.
because I always give you such a hard time.
Rex BK09, $20 donation. VR is a highlight to the modern day. Keep the channel going. Well, we're going to keep on trucking for as long as we can, Rex. Thanks to supporters like you. Thank you so much for the donation. That's awesome. First super chat ever from Rex BK Roots.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you. This is definitely a monumental episode to do it on.
Absolutely. Let's see, who is next? Zaylan Maru. Another $20 US. Big congrats on episode 200. Looking forward to 200 more. I'm looking forward to it as well. And genuinely looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to the near future of virtual reality. And that's kind of what we're celebrating here today. You know, we've been a channel for going on 5 years now. But as we've mentioned a few times in our past here, we never really kind of compromised our principles with how we operate this channel. We didn't start this to become like popular YouTubers. We never really danced for the algorithm so that we could, artificially grow the numbers. We just show up here week after week and talk about the technology that we all share a passion for. And it's literally, we do it for the community. We do it to spread the word about the technology. And as long as it continues to be fun, we're going to keep doing it. And it's fun, right? This is the highlight of the week every week, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of work that goes
you.
into these shows, though, in the background. But once you
Brother.
get into them and you get going, like sometimes you're like kind of like, oh, I got to do the show. But man, once you get into it, right, you start talking. We start talking. The three of us start talking. We start talking with the chat. We see how into it everybody else is. And I think we feed off everybody else too. So
Makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I can't think of how many times I've come into these shows feeling bad physically, sleep deprived. I don't know how I'm going to make it through. And, the intro rolls, we start talking to people, and I instantly feel better. So, yeah.
Well, it also
that's how
helps.
you're doing something good.
Well, it also helps that I enjoy hanging out with you guys. So, like, it's like that's the highlight of it as well. It's like we get together and we're hanging out, talking, and it's like that's when we get to hang out, right? So,
Right, exactly. ET2K9.now, $50 US. Congratulations, fellas. These past 3 years, you've all grown the show and the community. Hope to keep celebrating for years to come. Thank you, and I hope so as well. Thank you for the support, your ongoing support. It's amazing. Let's see. Do we have more? I think we do have more. The thing keeps scrolling me down to the bottom, though.
that's why I was trying to get you to do it soon because I just saw they were just coming. They kept coming. You know who else keeps
like
coming, Wes?
My mom.
Yeah, she does.
Well, do we know when my mom first hit the airwaves? Do we know when what episode that was?
We should find that out. I guarantee you 100% it was after Main Fan and Alex left.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was
no way. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when like Wes and I just went all in as far as the because everybody's got their idea of a different type, what type of show they want to do, right? And I think that was kind of like the struggle. Is like everybody had their idea. My idea was just it wasn't even on my radar to ever be on a podcast of this nature. So I just kind of went with it, and I was open for whatever. I saw everybody's ideas as valid, and was willing to do whatever we
Yeah.
needed to do. And it was cool.
Mhm.
For sure, and that's the reason why a lot of those early shows were kind of like variety shows, right? Because everyone really wanted to do a different show, so we just kind of tried to incorporate that, and the formula was a good formula. It was just too much for one show, and that's why the Monday show eventually was born, which has now gone on to become Strangers in the Night. But yeah, good point. But it looks like we do have one more super chat from our friend Not Sure Brondo. Das Krautkat. $10 US says happy 200th. Thank you. Thank you, Brondo. Thank you, everyone.
We did it! Oh, God.
We did it.
Luckily.
So we sit here and we're celebrating 200. But we should probably clarify. This is number 200 of our weekly flagship, the original Virtual Strangers show, the first one that we started. But if you look into some of our stats, we've been doing this for nearly 5 years now. About 650 videos, podcasts, and streams up on the channel at this point, Ruuts. 550,000 views on our channel in that span of time. Over 250,000 hours consumed by the general public from over 50 countries in the world. Our program's been watched, and you don't really think about that, day in and day out, just how freaking crazy it is. It epitomizes the technology that we come on here and kind of talk about every week, right? The fact that we have this sort of reach as a fairly small channel, here on YouTube it's nuts, and that doesn't even count like what we've done on the audio platforms, right? So looking at these numbers, it just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, and just had a huge episode. We were just talking about this a little while ago. I mean, congratulations to the channel. I mean, having a podcast get 43,000 views is a VR podcast is crazy.
Counting.
And
People
counting,
are still tuning in. Yeah, people are still tuning into that thing at 1,000 or 2,000 a day.
I just
Ruuts,
don't get it, man. That's
I
crazy.
don't either. We've been having the conversation, over the last couple of months. It's becoming fairly obvious that Game of the Month is our most popular thing that we do now, right? People love Game of the Month.
Which is weird because it wasn't always that way. Like, I remember Radio Rock going, I don't know, Game of the Month, I'm not coming in for that one.
Yeah, but here we are. It's the most popular thing, and our first real kind of viral breakout video, oddly enough, is a Game of the Month video for a so-so month. I mean, it was a good month, but it wasn't like one of these stupid crazy stack months that we had earlier in the year. So
it's just a good conversation, though. Like a lot of people curious about those games, and it was good.
So I guess we should go ahead and put it out there. Next week on this very program, guess what we're doing?
Game of the month.
It's that time again. And I would say let's do it on Friday, but I'm so far behind on playing last month's releases. I think I'm going to need this weekend to catch up on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the executive decision that we should probably wait until Sunday, right, to do that.
Give us a little bit more time, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we'll do a show on Friday, but we'll pick a game and talk, and then maybe do a real time review or something.
When are we going to get into Far Cry 6? Dee's already put almost 9 hours into that.
Has she really? I haven't done it. I get my new PC this week too. I get my rebuild.
I mean, obviously we still got to finish Uncharted 4, but I just thought that was kind of cool that she's been working. Yeah, come on, Eric. What the hell? So you get your rebuild?
No, I will have my rebuild this week, and I'll be ready to roll.
Nice. Well, can you make me a promise, please?
Because, I can right now.
Well, okay. So this is serious business. Right. Please, because this is something that has interfered with many gaming sessions. don't hook up any Chinese hardware to this computer. This computer cannot no weird vibe or headsets from Pimax. And
it was Nolo, man. Oh, freaking Nolo screwed me up.
I don't know, man. I just my thing is I want it to run well. I don't want any weird viruses to get on there.
I promise 100% no Chinese SDKs will go on this computer.
Hey, racist.
Oh,
Rex BK09 coming back with his second donation, $20 US. Arizona Sunshine 2, he says, multi-platform. Thanks for the Virtual Strangers dedication. Thank you again for the support. Yeah, Arizona Sunshine 2 somewhat revealed this past week. It was kind of weird how they did it. Like, they flew a bunch of people out, let them play the game, let them play like a lengthy demo, like an hour long, but did not release any of the footage from those demos, strangely enough. But from what people were saying, Ruuts, very, very, very impressed with this game. A couple of people even invoking the holy name of Half-Life Alyx in comparison to it. Did you catch any of this stuff?
I didn't catch it, but I'll tell you what, I don't doubt it. I've said before, Arizona Sunshine, the first one, was so good in its time, and then Mash's Baby After the Fall, even though it's had its issues, is amazing as well. And when you bring those two games and those two types of gameplay, I guess, just everything, I could see it being a really, really good game. And so it doesn't shock me. And it's probably one of the few games that I'm actually really looking forward to that's coming out soon.
Eric, they're not reinventing the wheel with that one. Apparently, this is going to very much play like Arizona Sunshine. It's going to be a linear, stories-driven zombie shooter. But with that said, it is going to be a proper sequel. They have incorporated some light crafting into the mix. Next gen graphics and animations, next gen physics, fully manual reloaded weapons, and a whole slew of other new features. But I particularly was happy to hear that this isn't going to be a completely different game. It's going to be a proper sequel to one of my favorites from the first generation.
Yeah, I mean, it's Arizona Sunshine. You don't want to break of what it was. You don't want to lose Arizona Sunshine, right? So if you change it too much, you might as well just call it something else at that point. So it needs to be Arizona Sunshine. It just needs to be better. And I think from what I've heard and the people I've talked to, it is better in pretty much every way from what they played. So, visuals, gameplay, mechanics. There are a few different mechanics in here that we haven't seen in the past. And the visuals, I guess, are some of the best they've ever seen. So, I was a little, I am not I was okay. I liked Arizona Sunshine. It wasn't something that I was like run back to all the time like you, Wes. Like you've played it so many times. Like I got through it and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much done with it now. But I'm really looking forward to this one now. When it was announced, I'm like, man, it better be good. Like Vertigo needs a win. Like it better be good. And from what I've heard, I'm extremely looking forward to this one now. Like I think this could be one of the best games that we play this year. And I think thankfully we probably don't have to vote on it for Game of the Year because it'll come out after.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think and I think that it's good too because they were kind of non-committal when asked if they're going to launch on all platforms simultaneously. I think that was the plan and is the plan, but they did reserve themselves an out there in case they can't get it ready on all platforms, which is good because we saw what happened with After the Fall when they forced it out on all platforms and it was good on PC. It was okay on Quest. It was dog shit on PlayStation VR. And they took a big hit because of that, and they still haven't fully recovered.
We know how hard it is, right, Wes? Like we know how hard it is for these devs to do it on all platforms. Like, and I get it. And if you don't do it, there are going to be people that are platform specific. They're going to be pissed off. They're like, why didn't I get my version? But I mean, it's so hard to launch on every platform at the same time and have them all function really, really well. It's like it's so hard. Like I'm okay if they don't. Like, I know that people will get pissed, but I mean, I'd rather have that
I don't
than
think
have
so.
what they had with the PlayStation VR version of After the Fall.
I think the attitudes have changed after this summer of drop ball after drop ball. I think the attitudes, especially in the PlayStation VR community, are changing, and I think that people kind of appreciate delays now because it means that that when they do finally get the game, that it's going to work and it's not going to be blurry or have some other kind of buggy
Not
issue.
necessarily. How many times have we had games delay? Not necessarily on PlayStation, but in general. And then it comes out and MASH is like,
That's
what
true.
the fuck were they doing for 6 months? You know, like they
That's
still broke, right? So yeah, hopefully. I think it is. I would rather wait and hopefully developers start going, taking that road, right? As a first thing instead of being rushed. So
Well, Arizona Sunshine 2 is still targeted for this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if PlayStation VR 2 does not launch with the others based on everything we just talked about. But Roots, we have a dog this time. It's kind of like dog meat on Fallout 4, where the dog has inventory slots on it. You can carry stuff on the dog, and cool new mechanics like Eric was talking about. I think a wolf in VR said that he just decided that he was going to try to shove a grenade in a zombie's mouth, and he did, and it worked. He didn't pull the pin; he just shoved it in there, and then backed up and shot it and blew the zombie's head up, which is
wow.
cool. Cool
That
new
is
level
cool.
for this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to Arizona Sunshine 2. Definitely toward the top of my most heavily anticipated list of upcoming VR games. I think we should probably say hello to the chat before we move on any further because the chat is getting very, very deep, and I don't want to take 30 minutes to do roll call. So why don't we get on that? Scion VR joining us says, "Oh, dude, did I miss Ranthony? Nah, bro, we ain't not even close to that part of the show yet. So
And
just hang tight.
before
We'll
we
get
move
there.
on from Scion, everybody wants to know, Scion, are you getting the Quest 3? Did you buy it? Everyone, we literally were talking about it in the chat before you got here.
Scion's ready to upgrade, but
I'll tell him whether I think he should or not. Coming up.
Oh,
right, soon. I don't think Scion's ready to buy into the new meta ecosystem, but I think it's getting more difficult for him to hold out. So I think that's the answer. WDVR, awesome. Didn't miss it. Nice podcast, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Spry Guy's here. Happy birthday, Spry Guy. Phil Yarn is here. Island Kara. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for life. Says I've got a disabled dog in Far Cry 6. What's D think about Far Cry 6 VR, Ruth?
She's loving it. I mean,
Nice.
She said the driving, kind of what you said about Uncharted 4. She said the driving is amazing. Right. She just said that it's just really good.
Awesome. Can't wait to check it out. Crazen Raisin is here. Chris Richardson is here. Bluebell is here. Old Darth is here. I'm trying to move quickly on purpose. Rex BK09, hello again. Awesome Tatum. Chinatown D, what up? Distracted, good to see you. I think we already said hello to Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for life. Hello again, just in case. Typical Kiwi is here. Hello. J Devil is here. Says 200. Keep it up. Thank you. Aceville. What up, Ace? Thanks for stopping by. Crazy and Raisin, I think I already said hello to. Scrolling. Gabriel 004. The license to meow game cat. Hello.
Did you see the super chat from Lincoln Clay? He says, $10 super chat. You know who else did 200?
That's right.
Yes, she did.
She did the 300.
Oh, that's right.
Like the movie.
Wow. Like Spartans?
Yeah, right.
Damn, she's good.
Tiffany's here. Hello, Tiffany. Thank you for visiting us and hanging out with us on this very special celebration. Looper, the underground game cat, is here as well. Chatty's here. Chatty's here to win, Roots. We got cool prizes, and of course, Chatty's coming for the gold.
Well, I want Chatty to win, so crossing fingers for you, Chatty.
Virtual Slayer Cat is here. Who else is here? Lincoln Clay, we just said hello to. ET2K9 now. We already said hello to. Oh, you're right, though. There is Lincoln Clay's super chat. I didn't even catch it earlier. It's free VR real estate. Yo mama's so old. Who else is here? Denell VR is here. Says congrats on the 200. Thank you very much. Artful's here. Says yo morning all, and wow, congratulations on 200. Anthony 365, miss you man so much. Off to work soon. Thank you, Artful. James is here. Hello, James. Not sure Brondo is here. Oh, Brondo. GameCat Chicago says you guys are cool. You're cool. GameCat Chicago.
That comment is cool.
That is a cool comment.
I like it.
Fluke Rogi. One possibility to play devil's advocate is the 128 version might just be subsidized by Meta, in which case you're getting a good deal. Maybe with the 512 one not selling at a loss. Maybe. Well, that's a good point. Could be true.
It's possible, but it's still pigeonholing people that don't know any better into having a hard drive that's not going to be enough in the near future, which is going to force them to maybe have to buy another headset. It just creates a whole bunch of issues. So even though there's reasons, and I guess, it's great to get a subsidized headset if that's the case. It'd be nicer if they could have subsidized the 256. The hard drives are so cheap these days, right? They say. So, I don't know.
Mind Jive joining us from Sweden. Hello, Mind Jive. Hussein X, our friend, is here as well. Gilman, Splatterhouse VR win. I don't know, bro, but I'd be totally down for Splatterhouse VR. Did you guys catch the clip from the intro where I start the chainsaw up and the priest?
I did, dude. He fucking took off running. I was going to ask you about that. Like, what happened, Wes? Did he thought you were going to kill him?
Well, no, he was begging me to kill him. He was begging me to kill him. He was done with life. He was all drunk. I tried to do the right thing and not kill the guy. But for whatever reason, it wasn't letting the quest finish out and give me the instructions to go on to the next thing. So I thought, I guess they're going to just make me kill this guy. So I'll pull out my chainsaw. I'm going to do it the right way. If I'm going to kill a guy, I'm going to kill him. As soon as I start it, the guy takes off running. I had to track him down and kill him.
Well, he didn't say he wanted to die a painful fucking chainsaw death.
He's like,
please kill me quickly. He's thinking bullets. Wes pulls out this thing and says, we're going to make it fun. And he's like, oh, shit, I'm running. That's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, somebody was asking in the Awesome Tatum was asking if I'm getting the Quest 3 or keeping my Quest Pro. I guess I'll answer that when Matt starts talking about his Quest 3 stuff.
I might be able to change your mind one way or the other.
Sure. You might be able to.
Radio Rat here. The fourth stranger is here. Who else have we not said hello to yet? Techno Glitch, also coming for that cash, baby. He's here to win. Island Kara, I think I already said hello to, but hello again. Michelle B stopped by for a moment. I don't know if she's still here or not, but hello, Michelle. Who else? Scrolling. Virtual Slayer Cat, we said hello to. Dan Kim. Yeah, I was wondering about this. Dan Kim says the B haptics integration with Crossfire is great. Yeah, I noticed that they did like a video that with B haptics, or someone did this past week, and I didn't even know it supported it. So that gives me a good reason to not play the games I need to for Game of the Month, but rather get in and play Crossfire instead.
I'd have to see if it would make a difference though, because to me it's night and day different, better on the PlayStation VR2
That's
than
true.
it is on
That's a
Steam
good
because
point.
of the haptics. And I
Trading
just think
haptics
some of
for
the
haptics, right?
yeah, that's what it is. I mean, like I don't think I would give up the face haptics and the adaptive triggers for the B haptics.
No.
Maybe we could do the audio mode, right? And
Yeah.
just get another layer from it that way. Matt and Kuda joining us. Hello. Sojoba is Anthony the Goat. Being a little generous, but okay. Den LVR, hello. Midlife Kid, what's up? Corporate Zombie, CZ, what up? My wife. Hello, wife. Ryan B is here. Hello, Ryan B. Scrolling.
There's the true MVP. Your wife sacrificing for 5 years for Virtual Strangers.
Through that. There's the goat right there.
Yep.
All right, so that's as far up as I can go. If I missed anyone, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome, one and all. Did we have any slippies today, Ruuts?
I don't see any slippies. I don't think. A typical
How
Kiwis
about
leaving for work.
What about Sanador the Game Tiger? Sanador the Game Tiger slipped in, says, I changed my pre-order to 512. Good call. Also, Kevin Kirschenman. Kevin Kirschenman's here. Says, I have PSVR 2 and mostly play that. I also pre-ordered the 128, but you guys just scared me into a 512. It's a good move.
And I'm not even. I'm not even being like crazy over the top. I just like the 64 gig. Everybody did say that back then that it was going to be enough, and it was not even a year. And then all of a sudden, it was barely enough for that one game, and that's crazy. Plus, I mean, who wants to do like Alan Cara? I mean, said they checked their Pro and had like 200 gigabytes left on their Pro, and so they ordered the 128. And so if you're the type that doesn't have many games saved on your thing, then yeah, I mean, you know yourself better than anybody else. I don't like to do the swapping deleting, re-downloading, and of course I've got multiple accounts with the show account, and so I want as much space as I can have typically. So I guess the thing is know yourself.
Right. That's the important thing.
Because
here's a situation specifically where I would have went with the smaller one because it was very difficult for me just to order one of these things. I've got a family here, and one of the most compelling features of this headset is that you can play the mixed reality stuff in the same room with people that have other headsets. So that makes me want more than one headset. And I didn't ultimately go that direction. But if I were going to order two right off the top at launch, I probably would have just went for the smaller ones because I could keep some games on this one and keep some games on the other one. And that's $150 I could put toward my second headset. So everyone's different. Everyone's use case is different. And, but I got to agree. And for most people, if you can wait a month and get the bigger version, I would recommend waiting a month and getting the bigger version.
Yeah.
Jeremiah is slipping in as well. Says, why is Into the Radius not on PSVR 2? I mean, the fuck? Money on the table. I agree. I got some correspondence from them in my email inbox this week, and it was all about them working on this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and no mention of PSVR 2. And all I could think to myself was, all I want to hear from you right now is when the PSVR 2 version of Into the Race is coming. They shouldn't be working on anything else. That's an amazing game, and the people right now, the PSVR community would just eat something like that up. Hopefully, there's a announcement right around the corner on that.
So I've got somebody in the wings that like is chomping at the bit behind this screen here that just wants to give away a game, Wes. Like she is
Hold on,
freaking
hold on,
out.
hold on. Hold on. I got a couple more slippies here. We got GameCat Photo Nutter that's here. And did one of you all say that Mickey Barrio slipped in? Oh,
Yes,
Steve's
Mickey did.
here.
Mickey's
Yeah,
there.
Mickey.
Alvo
And-
Steve is in the house. What's up?
What's up,
Nice.
Steve?
Well, Alvo Steve, I was just telling people as people brought up those other games, like Firewall and stuff. Like I just think Alvo's better personally, but I like faster paced. And Dee's been getting back in there. She spent a couple hours in there the other day.
She's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking Alvo goat from our community, isn't she? She's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
all up in there.
Yep.
You know who else loves
Anyway.
all up in there?
I do.
Yeah, she does.
Anyway, Ruuts, you were saying that someone's trying to get in through the back door?
Yeah, you know who else loves to get in the back door? Yeah, no, this person doesn't though, but she is waiting. She wants to give away a key. She said, "I heard there's a giveaway," and she's just ready.
So we are giving away some stuff. As I mentioned at the top, this is a celebration. I did not solicit any game studios for giveaway keys. 100% of, well, 90% of what we give away today is from the generosity of those of you who leave tips and support us on Patreon. But we wanted to do something a little bit different today. So this is what we're going to do. Well, I mean, I guess we should start by the format. We're going to do our usual thing. We're giving away stuff for the people live in chat. We're going to use our trivia system that we typically do. But for every one that we give away via the trivia system, we're also going to give another one away as a second chance giveaway in the comments. So for those that aren't able to watch live, if you're watching the replay, all you have to do is leave a comment down below saying that you would like to enter the second chance giveaway. Make sure you're subscribed, and then next week we will draw winners. So what are we giving away? Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give away $25 gift cards
Oh my
to
god!
the platform of your choice. So that could be Steam, that could be Meta, that could be PSN. We're giving away $25 at a time, because when we're talking about what we wanted to give away, we wanted to include everyone, and we wanted to give away something cool. Ruuts, I don't think anything cooler you can give away on a channel like this than money.
Yes, absolutely. Especially for you PlayStation people who, like I was telling Wes before, and he was agreeing 100% that you guys usually get railroaded with the keys. Because we can't get keys like you can for Steam and all these other things. So it's a very difficult to get. And Bluebell says our Rec BK09 has been dropping keys in chat. I did see one of those as well, and I was actually going to bring that as well. We appreciate that. And yeah, that's crazy.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you, Rex, and thank you for pointing that out. I noticed somebody was dropping keys as I was scrolling through, but I was scrolling a little too quickly to see who it was. So Rex is just being super generous today. Already donated like $40 or something. And
Alien Care
these
wants
keys.
theirs in Bitcoin.
Nice.
I said,
Like
I said
point
gift
zero-
cards.
Yeah, 0.0005 Bitcoin.
Scott, the PSVR Gamecat says drugs. Any free drugs?
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are
Okay.
bad. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what we're doing. We're gonna give away some gift cards, either to Steam, PSN, or Meta, just depending on where the winners want their money to go. You keep your eye out. There might be some keys getting added into the mix here and there as well. But this is what we're going to do. So we're going to give away 4 throughout the course of today's show, and then we're going to do 4 more in the comments to draw for next week. So again, if you're watching this later, just make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment down below saying that you would like to enter the giveaway, and we're going to give away another 4 $25 gift codes next week. Special shout out to Guido, who visited our home this past week, came and had dinner with us. When I told him what I was thinking about doing with these giveaways, he immediately picked up his phone and shot $100 into our PayPal account. So half of what we're giving away with these gift cards is on Mickey, or not Mickey, but Guido.
Guido. I actually hit Guido up like
shout out, man.
right before I left for California, man. I hadn't seen him in a while, so I hit him up. Hey, man, how you doing? Just want to check on you, see how you're doing. But he's still around. People.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, he's just been hanging out in Walkabout Mini Golf, basically. But no, I noticed the same thing as well. Wife invited him over this past week, and he accepted,
Awesome.
and we had a nice dinner.
Love it. When am I getting my invite? I'll come.
Oh yeah, So who else will come?
I'll bring her with me.
Another $20 from Rex. Quest 4 portable SSD cards, trademarked. Maybe a combined effort with electronics camera company. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, and it'll be next year.
Yeah, so I think with Quest 4, it'll be 64 gigabytes onboard storage, and then you'll have to buy into which tier of the cloud that you want to keep your games on. So
I'll tell you what, that's actually very possible. We are moving towards the cloud. Nobody believes it's possible. I don't know if what everybody thinks Elon's Starlink's been part of it. I believe is for a 5G network for AI and everything. I mean, we're going to have everything running 5G speeds and faster, and the cloud's going to be taking off. And they're pushing for it, and they don't. I think that we're going to start seeing personal computers, in ways, start to phase back, but we'll see. Who knows? Hopefully not. So.
I'm going to take a screenshot of the chat real quick here, because basically everyone saying what we all already knew, and that is that Guido is awesome.
Yes, Guido, you're awesome. Ruuts said.
Just a moment here. I want to make sure I get all of it. You know who always likes to make sure they get all of it, Ruuts?
She didn't want to miss a drop.
She's so busy here for 200.
Oh, dude, damn. She's
Now,
super busy.
Check keeps moving. True that. Guido is the best. You are the best. Was that Nacho Libre?
No adaptive triggers in Pro controllers. That's true, but also no tracking issues in Pro controllers whatsoever. So it's a trade-off. And some people would say that what do they call the track or the new haptics for the Pro controllers? Mash, and they have them in the new Quest 3s as well. They have a term for it.
The new haptics in it?
Yeah, it's a certain term for their haptics. It's like the next level haptics. It's not. I've used the Pro controllers. It's not. It's nothing compared to the PlayStation VR2 controllers.
Yeah. They're claiming it for these new Quest 3 controllers as well.
Well, that's fine.
True touch.
So far,
thank you.
Yeah.
They're not better than the Quest 3 controllers. So
I have not.
The Quest Pro, I mean.
I have not felt any. Like, it's just not that great. I mean, it's good. It's better. Like when I scroll through a menu, it feels better. I don't know.
It's like buying the generic sex toys. They're just not as good as
they're just not there.
That's true.
Anyway, let's give away a gift card real quick to the chat. $25 on the platform of your choice. First person to answer the question on my screen wins the gift card. Again, first person on my screen. Your screen is going to say that you were first. That doesn't actually mean that you were first. It has to go to outer space and come to my screen before it's official. So first person to answer this question wins the gift card. And the question is, Um, Ruuts, Eric, Wes are three of the Virtual Strangers hosts. Name one of the other two hosts from the previous years of our shows past. First one that can do that wins
and not
the
Radio
card.
Rant.
I was gonna say, what if somebody says Radio Rant?
we take
Spry
Radio
Guy. VR Spry Guy
Yes.
coming through with the win. He says, Justin, good
Main
job.
fan.
Yes,
You could have taken either one.
Justin, aka Main Fan. That's true, and I need to make a note here that VR Spry Guy was the winner of this.
I want to also throw a prediction out here before we find any specifics out about Quest 3, because I thought Cyan was gonna say. I think he got the headset. I think he got the
You think
128.
you got it?
I think he got the 128 gigabyte model because he was asking, "Whoa, what? You don't think the 128 is enough for PCVR?" To me, when I was talking about the size, and then he just asked me if I had any issues with overheating with the Pro controllers. So that would be, if you combine those two, headset and the controllers, Cyan has his complete package of VR that he's been waiting for.
Boom. That is one thing I will say right now. Well, I won't go into it now. I'll wait.
Yeah, you got to wait maybe 5 minutes.
So Philosix showing up says, "Sorry, I'm late. Was in VR." You just
That's the only reason. Good reason to be late.
Yep.
The first giveaway. Philosix. Lucky for you, we've got 3 more coming, as well as the 4 second chance giveaways that we're gonna give away next week. He says it's for Anthony. We're gonna throw to the Anthony interview in just a few minutes. Diego Darko's here. Says it's rigged. Well, that's it. I'm done, guys. We're never doing another giveaway.
The wheel is
again.
rigged, Mash. I didn't even know the wheel was rigged.
I was saying to Wes and Ruuts earlier, man. I barely give keys away anymore, just because it's.
Well,
people are assholes.
That's a joke, but that's Diego Dargo's making a joke. I think he's making a joke because that's the shit I get all the time. Like, it's rigged. I didn't see my name, and like, come on, like
I would just ignore it,
No, I do. It just gets
because
to me.
it's like this is the way I feel. Like I feel like 1 or 2 or 5 people have ruined the whole thing for everybody. You know what I mean? You can't let that happen. That's how people want things to happen. Alien Carrier says, who else asks about size? Yeah, she does.
That just means we got keys to give away tonight from Q2C.
That's true.
To Virtual Strangers.
And
Peace.
Rex just dropped another key. I am fish.
I am fish.
I am fish. Is that an actual game?
That
fish?
sounds delightful.
Sounds very Steamish.
It is
Steamish. So yeah, congratulations, VR Spry Guy. Again, if you didn't win, all you gotta do, wait till the show's over, go down, leave a comment. We're gonna draw 4 more winners next Sunday during Game of the Month. So congrats, Spry Guy. Anyway, we've been dancing around it for a good hour now. Why don't we talk a little bit about the MetaQuest 3? Our good friend Eric here traveled out to MetaConnect this past week and was able to somehow secure some time in the upcoming latest and greatest headset from the evil laboratories of Meta Technologies. Eric, the more I learn about this thing, the more excited that I get for it. So my first question for you is my excitement warranted? Is this headset going to be the game changer that it seems like it might be?
Yeah, so I get to spend quite a bit of time in it in like 4 different demos for the Quest 3, different stuff that we'll be seeing coming this fall. And it's everything I thought it was going to be. I will say this, I'll get this out of the way. There's 2 things I'll get out of the way right now. I had a lot of people before tell me that the new strap, the new head strap, is really, really good, and you won't want to change. You don't need to change it. I'm here to tell you guys right now, it's the same shitty
Dog
jock
shit.
strap
It
that
looks,
we had before.
but it's a new strap, Mash.
No, like I had people who are like, no, you don't. It's gonna be great. Nobody's gonna need to change it out. And I put this thing on. I'm like, it's the same fucking head strap. I don't know what everybody's talking about. Like, what are you talking about?
They said that last time too, right? Yeah.
Well, this is funny. So this is what I thought was literally funny about this, right? So we find out going into this week. We always thought it was kind of strange that some content creators got invited in while other ones didn't, and it seemed like a very exclusive event. We find out that in order to go in and do the special little demo thing that they set up for these content creators, that people had to sign a non-disparagement agreement, right? Which basically means you can't talk shit on Meta after you go in and do their little demo thing, which is fine, right? Sure, whatever. Okay, do what you got to do to get the demo, I guess. But it's funny because right after I learn about this, we start getting people's impressions, and everyone's saying that the strap is more comfortable than the original one. But literally, you can see in the fucking video footage from this thing that their ears are all folded down, or the strap's going over their ears. Like, how could people sit there with a straight face and say that bullshit when you can fucking see it cutting into their ears? Like, I don't get it.
It's the same. It's almost exactly the same head strap. The only difference now is the way it hooks onto the actual front of the headset is a little bit different. And then now you can get one in a couple of different colors too. But literally, that is the only difference. I mean, it's the same. The material is maybe a little bit different, but the way the head strap goes on is 100% exactly the same, down to the same stupid sizing system that never quite works, and you can never quite get it adjusted exactly the way you want to get it. Like, and this is a small nitpicky thing. I want to get it out of the way early because I can tell you everything besides that and one other thing is going to be all praise for me. But I figured I had to get it right out of the way because I'll give it 1 gig right away, which color. It's the same shitty strap that it was before. But again, who cares? Like, literally, I don't care. Like, if anybody was like, I'm not going to go buy a Bobo or I'm not going to go get a Kiwi, you're lying to yourself anyway. You're going to go get those. So they're so good and they're so inexpensive now. It's an afterthought for me. Like, I'm like, whatever. I don't even care. Like, I actually do like the colors are kind of cool, but you're not going to stay with that anyway. So if you're out there buying one right now, don't buy it for the colors, because unless you just want the facial interface, because you're going to get rid of the head strap. So if you're buying it for a color, don't spend the $50 to get the color, the orange or the blue head strap, because you're going to end up throwing it away anyway.
But they're using the strap in the video, so it must be comfortable.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Ruuts, did you order the Meta strap? Like, it was actually a difficult decision for me, because obviously a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to wait and get the Bobo or the Kiwi designs or whatever. But there's a key word there, wait, right? Which means you're going to be playing it with the jock strap for a little while. Oh, you didn't pre-order, Ruuts, so you didn't pre-order.
No, but I'll give you my opinion on whether I would or not. If I did pre-order, I would absolutely be ordering the strap, because I don't want to wait for this mobile VR is not going to have something out the first week, 2 weeks, month. How long are you going to use this jock strap for? I mean, at least it's not as heavy as the first one, right? But I can only imagine outside of laying in bed and watching a movie, or you know what I mean? That's the only case point where I can see that jock strap actually is cool. Other than that, it's just very not cool. So
I'll ask you, Eric. Did you order the thing? Because I wanted to. I actually almost ordered the Meta one, because for what it's worth, people like the Bobo, myself included. People like the VR Kiwi, but if I had to be honest about which Pro Strap was the most comfortable for me on Quest 2, it was the Meta Elite strap. But then I remembered why the Meta Elite strap isn't on my Quest 2 right now, and that is because they broke, all 3 of them. So I didn't order their expensive strap because of that. But it was a tough decision for me. Like, I like the original one, and I don't want to wait. So what did you do, Eric? Which did you order?
So I am getting the headset with the blue head strap because it's with the package I get. The one I'm getting is different, so like I don't have to pay for the extra. So I'm getting the blue just for the facial interface. And I will say this: the facial interface is really, really comfortable this time. Like I don't even know if I would go buy the VR cover facial interface anymore. Like I think this facial interface that it's
So
coming with is really good. But I do like
are
the
you
colored facial interface.
so are you talking about the rubber one, or are you talking about the cloth one?
So it's like the one that comes standard with it. It's like a pleather material. It's not like the original one that came on the Quest 2, which was kind of
Hmm.
shitty.
Are you
This is
sure
a
that's
very
Are you sure that's not the one you have to buy into? Because
no.
there.
It it's the standard one that comes. If you just get the white headset or one of the colors, it doesn't matter which one you get. It's just the standard one that comes with it. And that's the one that was in all the demos that they used. It's just the standard one, and it's
Hmm,
really comfortable. I like it a lot.
I hope you're right about that.
It's not a
But
cloth. It's not cloth anyway.
well, great. That's
Yeah.
good. That was the
It's like
thing I was worried about.
it's not it's like a synthetic material. I don't know what it's exactly made of, but it's extremely it's not PU leather, so it's not like your VR cover or anything like that. It is like a synthetic rubber material, I would say, but it's extremely comfortable. Like that is one
So
thing where I don't think you would need to replace.
so the people from the videos that I watched that did demos, that they said that the same thing, that it was like the rubber material or the synthetic material on the demos that they use. But they also said that the units that they used wasn't like the pack in standard, like it was the package that you buy into to get the upgrade for the facial interface. So
Yeah, I will double check that for you, but I am 90% sure that's the one that comes with it.
well, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Um, People are asking, so did you sign a non-disparagement agreement? I don't think so, right? Because you weren't part of that like content creator organized thing where they flew people out early and
Yeah,
did all
no,
that stuff.
I attended MetaConnect as basically as a representative for developers, not as a creator. So I am not part of the creator program for Meta, and I did not have to sign a. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement for certain things that I did see there, but not a non-disparagement agreement. That was, I believe, only for the creators. And I wouldn't anyway. Like, I'm just not. Number one, I like to rant on things, and that would be hard for me to not. It would be hard for me to give up something I could bitch about. So, if there was more for me to bitch about, I would be 100% on it, and that's why I kind of want to get this out of the way, just because to me, it's the only thing where I was like, people were telling me it was the strap that comes with it was really really good, and I'm like, it's really really not. So, I just don't want people out there going to buy the colored one, the orange one or the blue one, because they think they're going to stay with that strap, because you're not guaranteed. You're going to want to go buy, the Bobo or the Kiwi. So, but I have no issues with saying anything that everything I'm telling you now is 100% my opinion. I didn't sign anything.
Right.
Bluebell
So
says, I
that's
think the non-disparagement is false. GT said he did not sign one.
He did tell me that too, but most of the other ones told me they did, so I don't know what's up with GT, but yeah.
Anyways, that's enough talking about that dog shit strap. Let's talk about some good stuff.
Well,
I've mentioned this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the only other thing I wanted to say about it before I get into like praising everything else is the controllers, because this is one of the biggest things for me and like say Ruuts, because we have the Quest Pro, or anybody out there that has the Quest Pro, because a lot of people are like, would number one, if I have a Quest Pro, would I take my Pro controllers and use them in this headset? Or if I don't have a Quest Pro, would I go out and buy these $300 Quest Pro controllers to use on this new headset? And while these controllers are really, really good, and I had zero tracking issues, and most of the demos were done in sunlight. Like there was a roof, but the walls of the demo booth were open, so there was sunlight shining through all these rooms because they were open air. I had zero tracking issues, but for me, the weight of the controllers and just the feel of them is completely different with the Pro controllers. I'm not saying I think you should go buy $300 Pro controllers, but I'm just saying if you have your Pro control, if you have a Pro, I'm absolutely going to be using my Pro controllers because I can tell they're not exactly the same. Um, so it may be worth it. Like if they ever drop these price, or if you're thinking about maybe I'll go get the Pro controllers. That's the only other thing I would kind of think of, and I just like the weight and the feel. The Pro controllers just, I mean, Roots can tell you too. They have a weight to them that these other controllers don't. And there's no batteries in these. It's just something that's in them. It feels better. It feels, it just feels more like and then
It feels like a really good quality product. Like the Pro in general, everything about it is just, it feels like a very well done product. The controllers are nice.
And the tracking is going to be better. I think that the tracking with these new Quest 3 controllers is going to be completely adequate, and I don't think you'll have any problems. I'm just saying that there's no way that they can compete with the tracking of this controller because number one, it has cameras in it that track. There's 3 built-in cameras that are on each controller. Plus, it has a freaking a Qualcomm chip in it to help you with tracking. So,
do you think it would actually help, or I guess it would help, but how much would it help having your controllers tracking themselves versus, because your headset's not having to track them now, right? So or at least it's probably using less resources. That has to affect something, right? I don't know.
A little bit. Would be the answer to that. I don't think it's a super like CPU intensive process to do the tracking.
But from somebody like yourself, that when you go into VR, you take great lengths to turn everything off. You want the best performance, so that wouldn't be negligible, right?
What we're basically talking about here is the usage of the mobile chipset's ability to track a certain number of cameras, because that's what we're talking about now. The thing that makes the Pro controllers so unique is because they have their own processor to put those extra cameras in there. So I would imagine, and again, I am a layman, of course, but if I had to assume, I would assume that I forgot my. But basically, any kind of hit to the resources is going to be minimal here because it's not like these cameras that were on the controllers, the Pro controllers, are now on the headset. They're just not using those now, right? They're just going back to the old system.
Right, and I don't think it'll matter anyway when you're thinking about the new upgraded Snapdragon chip. It's a second generation Snapdragon chip. It's way more efficient than the original, so it's not something you have to worry about. CPU usage or whatever you want to call it. It's not the same going from the Quest Pro to, which is a Gen 1 XR2 chip, to the Quest 3, which is a second generation XR2 chip. So, I don't think it's necessary. But and Tatum said, is it 100% true that you can use your Quest Pro controllers on your Quest 3? And it is 100%. Yeah. So I absolutely will be pairing the Quest Pro controllers with my Quest 3. And I think you should, but again, I don't know. I'm not saying that you should go out and buy $300 controllers. The ones that come with it are completely adequate. They feel comfortable. I like the ergonomically. They feel great. They're a little bit larger maybe than the Quest Pro controllers. The face of them feels a little bit larger. But they feel great. I think they're going to track fine. I don't think you're going to have an issue. If you don't know what you're missing, I don't think you'll miss it. But I think if you were going from the Pro controllers to these controllers, I noticed it immediately that I just didn't like the way they felt as much as the other controllers. So, but that's all I use normally is the Quest Pro controllers. So, like Wes, you've tried them, but you don't use them a lot because you don't have them. But right. So I don't think you would notice or you would care. You'd be like, okay, I'm fine with it the way it is. Somebody who wants the absolute best tracking you're ever going to get, if you're doing something really that has to be tracked, I think then you're going to want to go to the Pro controllers because, again, I think that's the absolute best tracking you can get right now, including base stations, by the way. That you may want to upgrade, but I think most other people, if you don't know what you're missing, you're not gonna care.
What if you want to switch back and forth between the Quest Pro and the Quest 3? Because that's that one thing that bugs me is when I sync the controllers to one headset, I can't. I don't know how hard it is, but why can't they be synced to both? I guess if you hit the power button, it's going to try to turn them both on, but it sucks because you got to resync them every time you want to switch the controllers, right? So you're kind of deciding you're not going to use your Quest Pro. You're going to shelve it, you know?
That's a different question.
So
I'll let you know in a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good possibility that this Quest 3 ends up becoming my PCVR daily driver. Now that's not a given. Uh, it has to work every time, or at least almost every time, to unseat my already very impressive HP Reverb G2. Um, and in that case, it's an interesting proposition, getting the best controllers that I could get for them. But at $300, it's tough for me to pull the trigger on for even a pretty good jump in tracking and overall quality. And I'll tell you the reason why is because maybe the thing that I don't know, I don't want to say it's the thing I'm most excited about, but the thing that I keep coming back to over the last few weeks when I think about Quest 3 is something that I mentioned earlier, and that is the fact that this device is offering something that we haven't seen yet in a consumer VR device, and that is the ability to play co-located mixed reality games with friends and loved ones that also have a headset. So for me, again, it would be tough for me to drop $300 on getting better controllers when $500 gets me another headset. And Eric, that's kind of where I want to go with this next, is because we played Tilt 5 when we were in San Francisco, and it was fun, right? It was a good experience. With that said, without having tried Quest 3 yet, it seems like this is going to be a vastly superior experience with regards to the same kind of AR, MR gaming that Tilt 5 provides. Am I off base here? But this looks like it's going to be one of the coolest features of Quest 3 is the ability to stand around a table with your friends and play Demio.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, now we'll get into everything else that's amazing about this headset and why I'm so excited for it. And I just will. Let me just finish one quick thing on the Pro controllers. If they ever lower the price for these controllers to like $150, like I don't know if they will do that, but if they ever do, like, if you ever see them on sale for like $150, I think everybody should go buy them. Anything more than that, don't go get them. I think these other controllers are fine. You'll be fine with them. That's the last thing I'll say on that.
what are your thoughts on, because people talk about haptic vests all the time. I would rather spend the money on these controllers all day fucking long than on a haptic vest, which I just wore for the first time on my birthday, and at that thing that I did with the VR thing with D. And so like I just the controllers are that good, and it's not just like having perfect tracking, especially if you like shooters at all. It's a big deal. It's a game changer when your controller's not fucking doing all this weird shit every time you try to aim down the sights. So I don't know. It's definitely I think everybody should get them. I if at some point anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, they're really good. I mean, they're great. I mean, like, to me, they're the best controllers that you can find out there of any of them. So I just wish they were cheaper, and I think they will be cheaper at some point. They're going to lower the price. Either that or they're just going to dump them. You know what I mean? You won't be able to get them anymore at all. But I mean, I'm hoping that they lower the price and everybody can try and get them. But yeah, I mean, if you're like, should I go get a vest or should I go get the Pro controllers? I mean, I would seriously consider just going to get the Pro controllers. I mean, I use those way more than I use my vest for sure. But yeah, I mean, to get back to what you were saying, Wes, with the AR, one of the experiences I did was an AR experience, like you're talking about when you're around a table, multiplayer experience called BAM. And this was one of the coolest experiences that you'll find. And the AR on this is light and day ahead of any other AR I've done. When you're doing the mixed reality where you can see, in your head, you can see your own environment, and then you can see something superimposed on it. and the level of quality that we have now, even compared to the Quest Pro, it's like it's so freaking good. I mean, it's without even getting into like the lenses and stuff like that, the visuals in this headset with the color pass through now, it's really, really good. I mean, it's a lot better than the Quest Pro. And I thought the Quest Pro was passable. Like, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I thought it did what it needed to do. Now it's like really good. I mean, like your environments feel like your environments. It doesn't feel like a painted environment anymore. You can tell that it's video and not real life, but it's getting it's getting harder and harder to find that line of where you'll be able to see it. Like sometimes you'll look quickly and you'll think, man, that feels super real. So I think the AR experiences are going to be something special here. And what you're saying about like being in the same room and being able to put headsets on and actually be in the same room and do these things, I feel bad for Tilt 5 now. Like Tilt 5
Yeah.
just took too long to come out, and it needed to come
And
out
it
4
costs
years
just
ago.
and it costs just as much, right? Like
Yeah, for one pair of glasses.
yeah, so you're going to buy all those extra glasses, you're going to spend all that extra money when you could just be buying these headsets, and not only are you going to have a better library of games, but the advantages of camera pass-through based mixed reality versus glasses based mixed reality typically it isn't as sharp. Sometimes the colors are a bit washed out, that sort of thing. Um, and as good as Tilt 5 was, I imagine Quest 3 is on a whole other level in terms of the visual quality here. Not to mention, the controllers, which there's no question that the Meta controllers are going to be better than Tilt 5 or any other, AR system that's commercially available. So you're right. I do feel bad for Tilt 5. I think it's an excellent product that came just a little bit too late. And now they're in a very unfortunate situation.
Mm-hmm.
But, on top of the awesomeness of being able to play in the same room, which I can't overstate how cool it would be. One of the mixed reality um, one of the mixed reality experiences, which is going to be a free upgrade on day one, is the Drop Dead the Cabin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that it has co-location built into it right now, but the fact that that's a possibility makes me think about scenarios like this. So, right next door to me is an old, decrepit, abandoned house. Imagine going over there with a friend or two, mapping out this old house, and then flipping on the Drop Dead the Cabin mixed reality mode, and now it looks like you're in the game with this old cabin with zombies coming through the doors and windows. I mean, this is an experience that was previously unattainable, especially unless you were going to go, to some kind of location based thing. This was never available before, and it's going to be available in less than 2 weeks for an affordable price at your local retailers like Walmart and Best Buy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's so good, man. I mean, the things that you're going to be able to do in this headset are going to be night and day over what you were able to do in your Quest 2 with that black and white, pass through and, the quality of what that was. I mean, this opens up for so many more things. I mean, it opens you up for things that we haven't been able to see yet in that, Apple teased. Like, having, being in your headset and watching a basketball game on a 200-inch screen, in your home, and then like pinning it to a spot in your home, like you're in your living room and you pin this 200 inch screen in front of you, and you have your stats on one side and you have, players on the other side that you can see. And, those are the things you can do in pass through now that, were not really attainable before. And the comfort is there now, so you'll want to spend time, and it's not like wearing that big block of a Quest 2 anymore. It definitely is more comfortable now, and it is lighter. And even though weight-wise it's not much lighter, it feels a lot lighter.
And speaking of comfort, um, this has been one of the biggest barriers to entry for VR, even in its current state. Um, if you put people into a VR experience, what would you say, Roots? 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 of them are going to say that was cool, but I'm dizzy, or that was cool, but now I'm sick, and they're never going to go back to that. Um, how profound do you think this is, Roots, that we now, through these mixed reality applications, we have that half step that we never had before? We have something that we could put people in that's super cool, that they're not going to become disoriented because they still see the room around them, and they have things that they can play and get their VR legs without becoming sick. I think that has the potential of being a profound impact on our industry.
Yeah, yeah, especially if they have a chance to check it out and see things that are cool that they never would have given them a chance if they did get sick. At least see what it is before, to try. I guess that what was it we were talking about the younger generation, how they're not having that type of sickness, right? Wasn't that
Right.
on? Yeah, so I mean,
Not
gonna
not
kinda
as not as much.
not as much.
Not as much.
It's gonna work itself out. But some of the cooler things, I guess, will be in pinning, doing exactly what Mash was saying. What people love that type of stuff. I just don't see people sitting around all the time wearing these headsets, even if they're a little bit more comfortable. I think we're a far way off from this becoming what Todd would love to sit around, like he was talking about with the Quest Pro and that type of person that's going to wear a headset all the time. I know for me, I opted to not get the headset just for a couple reasons. One, I do have the Quest Pro. Biggest thing, I have access to D's headset to check out stuff for the show if it's something that's I have to see, and if I try it enough and I love it, I can go pick it up. I don't have to rush out and buy it. But if I'm being honest, my headset sits so much now, my Pro, like I'm in a stage where I don't go into much VR unless it's for the show. So now I'm spending $700 just to go onto games for the show that may or may not, maybe 1/10 of the games we talk about will be something like this. Maybe 1/50th of the games that we talk about. It just becomes for my case point, it just doesn't make sense to at this point to get it. I only am bringing this up just because I had told people I would
Yeah.
explain why I'm
and
not
it-
getting it. Again, I've got the Quest Pro and I feel like it's adequate at this point, But those are all
You're gonna
Well,
specific.
you're gonna want the Quest 3.
Well, $700 is a lot of money, and you do have one under your roof. It's not like you're not going to be able to play it. So even though you're not pre-ordering one, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get one.
Right.
So I kind of get it. I think taking a wait and see approach is wise in your specific situation, but you're in a very unique.
If I didn't have the Pro,
situation.
I think I would have it for sure. I'd be getting it
Yeah.
for the pancake
Yeah.
lenses. I can't tell people how much and more, how better they are. I mean, how do they look in this Mash with the increased resolution?
That's why I think you're gonna want to get it. Like I think you're fine to wait. Try D's, play PCVR in it. Now I haven't played PCVR yet. Everything I did was standalone, but I can tell you the visuals that I had were amazing. And if it's it's gonna I assume PCVR is gonna look just as good. The lenses are amazing. Like they're that much better than the Quest Pro. Doing standalone. So I imagine PCVR it's gonna be crazy good. So like I think it's that much of a difference. Like I was in the same boat you. I'm like, I don't know for PCVR if I'll end up, using my standalone or if I'll go back to my Quest Pro. Like will I use my standalone Quest 3 or will I jump to my Quest Pro? And I guarantee now I'm going to want to stay with the Quest 3. That's why I'm going to be pairing my controllers, my Quest Pro controllers with my Quest 3, and I'm not going to want to switch back. There's really no reason for me, except for facial tracking and eye tracking, which are in the Quest Pro. There will be no reason for me to jump back to the Quest Pro.
What about the facial gasket? Because I really, really, really like the way the Quest Pro hangs in front of my face and isn't on my face. I've gotten used to not having the bottom on the thing, and I can still see, and I don't even notice that I'm not fully encased, but I'm Like I can see shit going on around me. I can walk around my room. There's aspects of that Pro that I love that has nothing to do with visual, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy comfortable. Like I said, the strap sucks, but the facial interface and the way it fits on, like I can see myself grabbing a Kiwi or grabbing, like I'm an Elite strap guy. I'm not the Halo strap guy. So I will do some type of Elite strap. I guarantee it. I did not pre-order one of the ones because I know I'm going to get 400 people sending me, straps, just like Wes will and you will. So we don't need to go buy it. Somebody's going to send me a strap that I'm going to end up falling in love with. And man, I'm telling you, this headset, the weight is almost the same as the Quest 2, but it feels different. It does not feel like the heavy brick that you normally wear in the Quest 2. It feels more akin to the Quest Pro, which you remember the battery is all in the back of the Quest Pro. So I don't know how they did it because that's not the way it is in the Quest 3, but they lightened the front of it up to me the way it feels. Like it feels exactly, I felt no difference than me wearing my Quest Pro to wear in the Quest 3, other than what you're talking about is I'm not, when I'm wearing the Quest 3 with the facial interface, you can't see out the bottom, and you can do that with the Pro. But I thought it was extremely comfortable, again, except for the shitty, head strap. The facial interface and the weight of it was super comfortable. It was probably one of the most comfortable. It reminds me of the weight of like the Pico 4. Like that headset is tiny. So and that one had a crappy facial interface that came with it too. But that headset, that's what this reminds me of now, this Quest 3. It reminds me of the size and the weight and the feel of the Pico, which was so tiny. And it's super comfortable. Like it, to like I said, to me, except for the facial interface, or the facial tracking and the eye tracking, it beats the Pro in every way. Like the pancake lenses, which I absolutely love. Like I don't know if I can do, like I don't like headsets now that don't have pancake lenses. They're so good. Like to me, they're one of the best lenses you can get right now, and these are even a step above the Pro in the way the lenses feel and the way they look.
What
that,
color?
and then
What about color? Is there any difference?
it's amazing. The resolution is so much higher now. I spent a lot of time in 4 different demos, and you can tell the difference. It's not as big of a jump, say for us, Ruuts, when going from the Pro to the 3, but it's there. You can feel it. But people that are jumping from a 2 to the Quest 3 are going to be blown away. Like those are the people, which is the majority of the people, right? And most people don't have the Quest Pro. The majority of the people are moving from a Quest 2 headset. You're going to put this on and you're going to go, holy shit, this is amazing. Because number one,
imagine Scion coming up from his
Oh
receiver.
God, whatever he gets, dude, it's gonna look better, dude.
This is his headset. Like if he doesn't jump on this headset, then I don't know where you're going to go. Maybe Pico 5 if you can get it in North America, because we know that's going to have a DisplayPort cable. That's the only thing I think. There's no reason for you not to go get this headset if it's for Scion.
Chris Duncan,
go get the 128 for $500, man.
Chris Duncan says, "What about color and black level, though?" Like, I mean, obviously, this is something that Eric's going to probably be able to tell you a month after he's had both headsets, right? And because right now couldn't compare the two, right? So
no, and it's not OLED, right? So it's not like the color level is not on the level of say like the PlayStation VR2. Like you're not going to get that. These are pancake lenses, not OLED, on the PSVR 2. So the colors are really, really good, but they're not going to be as like vibrant on the other headsets. But pancake lenses have things that you can't get over some of the other lenses. Like there is absolutely zero God rays, no screen door effect. The sweet spot is huge. These lenses look huge to me, and the FOV is different. It's way different. Like it's not as big of a jump from say the Quest Pro to the Quest 3, because again, I don't know what you can probably talk about it too, Ruuts. The way that facial interface works and not having the gasket on it, you feel like you have a huge field of view on the Quest Pro. But from a Quest 2 to a Quest 3, the field of view is going to look huge for you. Like the screen, the lenses themselves look absolutely huge, and the sweet spot is great. Like I once I had it set in, I never had to adjust it up and down on my head to like get the sweet spot. It was perfect.
You know who you do have to adjust around on your face to get the sweet spot?
My mom!
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely. But what about the difference between the Quest Pro colors and black levels and the because it is QLED. It's
Mhm.
not, you know what I mean? There's a more similar color um to that with the PlayStation VR2. Obviously not the same,
Yeah.
but closer, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not an
tougher for me to
OLED,
do
but the Pro has that local dimming,
dimming. Yeah.
which allows for deeper blacks.
Yeah, it's tougher for
Um,
me to like differentiate between the two. Like if I'm going to say what's better, the Quest Pro color wise, you know what I mean, or the Quest 3. Just because the PlayStation pops so much that that one's easy to say yes, it's definitely not that.
Right.
But I would say it seems like it's the same to me, maybe a little bit better. I don't know, maybe because the resolution is a lot better for me, so maybe it does feel like it's the colors a little bit better. Um, the resolution is like a huge upgrade. It's noticeably better, even than the Quest Pro. It's noticeably better, and the newer lenses definitely lend to that. Besides just the resolution, this is a next gen pancake lens that they're using now too, and you can tell the difference. It just feels a little bit different.
So people are gonna love this, man.
They're
The
gonna love this.
average consumer, right? Now, this is a good question that gets brought up later on in the episode. How many people do you think are going to run out that have? I mean, obviously, we're in this VR enthusiast bubble, so everybody here is going to run out and get the upgrade. But how many average people that bought the Quest 2, enjoyed it a little bit, maybe it's on their shelf collecting dust, or that whatever, are going to run out? Will this headset have as much success as the Quest 2 did? Because I part of me is wondering, maybe it won't have as, not that it's not going to do well. I think it will do well. But is everybody that has a headset now going to run out and get an upgrade? You know?
they're they're gonna have to find their Beat Saber, and what I mean by that is I don't mean literal Beat Saber, but they're gonna have to have that killer mixed reality app
Right.
that that gets viral, right? Viral coverage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would do
I
it.
think there's a couple of reasons why it's not going to be as big as the Quest 2, and I think it will be big. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a huge success. I think this is going to be a huge success, and I think it's going to be a great season, a fall season for this headset. The couple of reasons why I don't think it will be as big as the Quest 2. Quest 2 was a perfect storm. It was COVID time. People had money, different government, people, different economy. Again, COVID, there was, everybody was stuck in their homes and people were looking for escapes. So Quest 2 came at a perfect time. Also, Quest 2 was a $300 headset, $299 for the 64 version. This is a $500 headset at the minimum. So, it's a question now, right? Like where before at $300, it wasn't even, for most people, it wasn't even a question of if I have a Quest 1, am I going to go get a Quest 2? And for new people, it really wasn't a question. I'm going to go get this thing, man. It looks amazing. So at $500, I don't think it's a no-brainer anymore. Like I can tell you this: everybody who has a Quest 2 will want to go get a Quest 3. But will they be able to afford a Quest 3? You don't know. Like it's going to change things. Like $500 is not easy, and that again, that's the 128 version, $500. If you want to get the 512, it's more money than that. So the point of entry is more money, and does that, is that difference enough for people to abandon their Quest 2 and then spend all that money, to get the Quest 3? I can tell you
Yeah, I
this:
can
you're
tell
going to
you.
want it.
Yeah, I can tell you that there are some people out there that are aware and are ready to upgrade because there are $100 Quest 2s on Facebook Marketplace left and right now because people want that $100 to upgrade. There are $500 and $600 Quest Pros on Facebook Marketplace right now
hmm
because people want that upgrade.
Yeah.
Um, so we have mixed reality and all that comes along with that. The potential for new technology to have that wow factor, to give people a comfortable experience, to get them into VR. We have super high resolution, crisp clarity in this headset, and all that that potentially means as a PC VR headset. Let's talk a little bit about standalone capability, Eric, because a lot's been said about this new chip. Everyone knows at this point that they're touting over twice the graphics processing power, a significant bump in standard processing power for the CPU. But what a lot of people aren't aware of yet is all of the little kind of technical bells and whistles that this thing is capable of that was previously not possible in standalone. Things like post processing, these sorts of kind of um, after the fact tricks that makes a good looking game look great on PC. For the first time ever now, Eric, we're going to see standalone VR games that look like legitimately look like mid tier PC VR. Um, do you think that it's going to be enough to kind of win over the high end VR enthusiast into playing some stuff that's developed exclusively for standalone?
Yeah, I do. I do for sure. And that's where this headset gets the biggest jump for me. Like, the Quest Pro is a really good PC VR headset. Like, if you had it and you just wanted to stay with that, you're probably fine. You could do it. But if you're going to jump to a standalone headset, the new chip is. So I played Assassin's Creed Nexus as one of the demos. And I can't say like everything that I did in it, but let me tell you this: I would have swore it was PC. Like, it looks that good. I mean, it's one of the best looking games I've seen. And now that doesn't mean I don't think we're going to see any more mobile games, or we're going to see any more games that look like shit on the
for
Quest
sure.
3. Like, that's not going to change. We're still going to have shitty games. I'm just saying the level of games, we'll have more of the level of games of like, um, uh, what's the one? I'm blanking now on what's the Red Matter 2. I'm sorry. There we go. So I think we're going to see more games on the level of Red Matter 2 than we will see games that are less than what you want to see. So to me, that's where this headset really is going to shine, is the standalone stuff. Like, this is going to be a fantastic PC VR headset, but I think the Pro is there too. And I think there's some other options out there. Like, I think this is as good as the G2. But would I say go buy the G2 over this? No, I would say probably buy this because of the standalone. And the standalone is going to be something special. It's that much better. Like, I played a couple of different experiences, especially the Assassin's Creed. It looks freaking amazing. I'm a little bit shocked at how good it is. Like, I knew it was going to be better because there's, touting, double the CPU strength. But until you see it, what's the how do you quantify that?
Right.
Seeing it in the headset, it just shocks me as to how good this really looks.
Ubisoft is saying that this is not Assassin's Creed Light. They're saying this is a full blown Assassin's Creed game for VR. I know you can't talk too much about the game. Do you think that's a fair statement, though, from what you were able to see?
From what I saw, and then what I've talked to other people about who have a little bit more knowledge, this seems like it's going to be a full blown game. This is not like a we're going to give you a piece of Assassin's Creed for VR. This is a true legitimate game. I can tell you this: I was able to do pretty much everything I wanted to do. The movement was amazing. That feel you get as an assassin jumping from rooftop is probably the best movement I've ever seen in the game. It's fast. It's like you can pick it up really quick. The leap of faith jump that you remember from Assassin's Creed is here. It's exactly here that you want to do, and it feels amazing. The sword play is excellent. It's some of the best I've ever seen. Like, and we've had some really good melee games, sword fighting games. It's really really good. Like, I can't say enough about how good it feels to sword fight. And then, like, just the little things like, when you want to, like, the hidden shivs that you have in your wrist, just making that movement and having that thing slide out of your wrist is so freaking cool, and it feels natural. It feels right. Like, it feels like it should be in a VR game and not me playing a flat game in VR. You know what I mean? That's where it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed. It doesn't feel like they took Assassin's Creed and I'm playing it, flat in a VR headset. It feels like I'm playing a VR built from the ground VR game that happens to be Assassin's Creed. That's why it feels so good, and that's why it looks so good. Like, I feel bad if you're going to play this on the Quest 2. Like, I know there's going to be people that don't upgrade to the Quest 3, and I shouldn't say bad. It's going to be fine. You're gonna love it. But the Quest 3 version of this game is going to blow you away, and you're going to be like, I want to go get it. So,
Roots, we hear this, right? And I don't know about you, but I think that is an incredible good step in the right direction for standalone. And while it's not obviously never standalone will never catch up to what high end PCVR is capable of. But with that said, just being able to produce mid tier PCVR in a standalone is um, that's a significant advancement for for this device. And now we're hearing that between now and the end of the year, 50 new titles for the Quest 3 platform. And on top of that, 50 more titles that are already in the Quest 2 library that are getting Quest 3 enhancements. Um, I mean that's pretty mind blowing to think about when you consider that we're in October, man.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's amazing. I definitely think that having the graphics on that tier are really important. I just my hope is that the I don't even know that we, aside from mixed reality, I don't even know that we needed another headset. Really, I mean, obviously it's great getting better looking games, getting these games to look good. I just I and I'm a broken record in this. I want the games to be on the same level at the same time as the graphics to look good. I think the graphics are passable. They have been for a long time. It's the gameplay that's not been compelling, or maybe that's just my own personal nightmare. Um, and I never played Assassin's Creed. I never tried a game. I've never played them at all. Is it episodic? Is the like the actual game? Is it put based in episodes, or is it like like an actual? I just I know what you're saying as far as the gameplay being on the and I'm sure it'll be not AAA light in the maybe the way that I've been saying. I just don't think that they've invested the time or the money for me to think it's going to be on the level of what I'm hoping it's going to be. And so only time will tell. Because as amazing as Call of the Mountain was, it was exactly what I'm afraid this is going to be. You know what I mean? A taste of that world. And if they're saying it's not, that's amazing. Because I would have loved to play Horizon Zero Dawn, the full game in VR. Not, you know what I mean? And that's not to diminish what Call of the Mountain is. It's an amazing game / experience, whatever you want to call it. It's just not. You can't say
Well,
I've gone into the Horizon Zero Dawn and played that game in that world. I've been in that world and I've experienced time in there. You know what I'm saying? Does
we
that
should
make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, we should point out that Assassin's Creed is not the same type of game though as like a Horizon. Horizon has a lot of RPG elements and progression to it that Assassin's Creed doesn't. Assassin's Creed is an open world action game, pretty
Right.
much. It's heavily story driven, and again, I haven't played it,
I haven't
but
either. That's what I'm just making the comparison of two major franchises that were brought into VR, and I feel like I would have preferred Call of the Mountain be more of like the original actual game, and so I'm kind of hoping the same thing for Assassin's Creed. And that being said, without even never stepped foot in it, I don't want I want what VR people to experience what flat gamers get to experience, a true full-fledged flat or full VR game, and not a taste of one.
So here's where I agree and disagree with you. I 100% agree with you that we need these experiences, and the ones we get are way shallower than a flat game. Where I disagree is I think we do need this headset. And why do we need this headset? Because you can't run before you walk. You need this headset to make better games. Like you need it. It's not just like a better hardware equals better games. You need it to make it easier for the developers to develop. And when they do that, then they can spend more time on story and on progression on other things. And then you need it in standalone, so you have the money and the headsets out there to sell games, so they make it profitable for them to make AAA games in a VR headset. So while I think they are not there yet, I think we're getting very close. I think this is a step in that direction. The closer we get to PC VR on a standalone headset that tens of millions of people have, the closer we'll get to what we all want, Ruuts, which is PC games or flat games that have the same depth in VR. And I think we'll get, like I think this is a huge step in getting there. You know, and again, we are going to have shitty games. This doesn't mean Quest 3 is going to all of a sudden not have the mobile shitty looking games. It just means we're going to have more of the better looking games that we already have. So I think we're going to get closer, and I think this gets us there.
Can we admit, or maybe you guys won't admit this, but I admit, in my mind, that the mixed reality, for the most part, in this generation is going to be gimmicky. There's going to be handfuls of amazing things, but I don't think if somebody goes into this thinking, man, I'm going to miss out on everything that comes out in the next few years if I don't have mixed reality, that's just not going to be the case. There's going to be a few select experiences that you're really going to want to check out. The most of them are going to be gimmick, you know, just like most of those type of things, right?
It's a new technology. It's literally the introduction of this technology, not only into the consumer market, but into the developer ecosystem as well. Devs are going to have to learn how to make new experiences from the new technology. And, the very natural first step is always through tech demos. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of tech demos and stuff. Especially when you're talking about like the single player experiences. That's why I get so excited about the local multiplayer, because I feel like that's something that's much more achievable on a much more quick level that will give somebody again a revolutionary experience that they've never had before. But you're right. There's going to be it's the early days of mixed reality.
So, and if that's all there was, it would be, you're right, it would be super shallow. But mixed reality is like a bonus. It's like gravy, right? We're giving you, you're going to have awesome VR experiences. We're going to give you some of these cool little tech demo AR experiences that you're going to absolutely love. And some of them will be full blown games, that you're going to absolutely love to be in too. So I think both, like having both is definitely, like you said, if you had one over the other, it wouldn't be enough.
Right.
A lot of stuff's going to be free. Like a lot of these software experiences are just going to be free upgrades to full-blown VR games, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I just want to say, Old Darth says the problem is the Quest 3 cannot do AAA level games, and that's absolutely untrue. We just need the developers to make the games for the Quest 3 that are AAA games. The Quest 2 is capable of AAA games. The Quest 3 absolutely will be capable of AAA games, but the developers have to invest. We have to buy. The developers have to invest in making AAA games and not make cheesy ports or crappy games on this headset. It's all in the developer's hands. The tools are here. Now, whether they have the backing or the money to do it is a different story.
Right.
I have a thought, something for you to get excited about, Ruuts, with regards to standalone specifically. Think about the amazing work that Dr. Beef did with the Quest 2 and the flat Steam games that got ported into being fully functional, working VR games on Quest. And now think about what Dr. Beef is going to be able to do with this device and all this extra processing power and all of these bells and whistles. You talk about how ports have been kind of the thing that's been driving your interest in PCVR for all the last year or two. I think that a year from now we could be saying similar things about standalone as well.
That's true, especially for people that don't have a PC, right? Or don't have access to one. So, for sure.
Shout out Dr. Beef, Team Beef.
Hey, Eric, how did I don't know, maybe you wouldn't know this for sure, but how did the depth sensor how did it affect the mixed reality?
I did a couple of mixed reality demos. One of them was Ghostbusters, so I didn't get a chance to try the regular Ghostbusters, but they had a mixed reality Ghostbusters experience that I tried, and you could definitely tell, like before I went into the experience all the way, and I was just in the pass through. You can tell the difference between having a depth sensor and not. Like I think it makes quite a bit of difference. Like I didn't feel out of my environment. Like you've been in the in the Quest Pro, and when you put it on, you feel like you're not in your environment anymore. You feel like you definitely feel like you're watching it on TV, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's much closer to real life. Like I felt like I could navigate everything. I felt like I could grab things without it having that weird look to it. It's hard to describe. It's almost like having lag or no lag in something it's not exactly that, but that's almost what it feels like. So sometimes in a pass-through that's not great, you have that little second of it doesn't feel like your hand, even though you're looking at your hand or whatever. And there's less of that here with the depth sensor on. So I absolutely think it's a great thing. And you know what pisses me off? Like they don't have the depth sensor in the Pro, right? Like because they took it out
Because
at the
they
last
took
minute.
it out. Yeah.
But
like
why
a dumbass.
didn't they do? Yeah, why didn't they do what like HTC did and just turn it off until you're ready to have it on? Like it pisses me off that people spent $1,500 for that headset, and all this they fixed the problems with it. All they have to do is turn it on, do the software update to it, and then the Quest Pro could have the depth sensor. But they decided to actually pull the freaking chip out of the headset, so now you can't get it. So I just found it weird that they did it that way.
Ridiculous.
Just have it deactivated.
ridiculous.
HTC did the same thing. Like, and HTC is its own mess, but they did the same thing. They weren't ready when it came out. It wasn't ready to be activated, so they just turned it off. And then when it was ready to be updated, they just did a software update and turned it back on, and then it worked fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it gives you one more reason for people that bought Quest Pro to tout the reason to upgrade, right? So.
X-ray glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
right.
There's a reason right there.
So what have we not touched on here, Eric? We've pretty much laid it out there that this thing is going to be a significant upgrade for anyone who's a VR enthusiast, whether you're into the standalone or you're in the PC, you're excited about new technology like mixed reality or co-location multiplayer social experiences. Like we talked about the quality of the games, like Asgard's Wrath and Assassin's Creed coming up. We talked about the revolutionary pancake optics, even a step up from the ones in the previous generation Quest Pro. We talked about the shitty head strap. We talked about the controllers being adequate.
How's the audio?
There you go.
Seemed
Good
great.
question.
Seemed great. Like again, I was outside for these demos. Like and it was like I said, it had a cover, but every wall was open. So there was people. It was right in the middle of the Meta campus, so there was hundreds of people walking around, and I could hear everything crisp and clear. It sounded really good. I know they're. I think it's just like the Quest Pro audio for me is really good. Like I don't ever need an audio solution with that. So I think if you're used to the Quest 2 or the Quest Pro audio, I think it's going to be the same. Like I think it's really good.
Yeah, they're touting it as an upgrade from Quest 2, which for what it's worth, Quest 2 is fine.
Mhm.
I do typically wear headphones with Quest 2, but not always. It's probably a 50-50 thing. Like if I have headphones handy, I grab them, but I don't get up for them. It's fine. So if there's an upgrade on that, then I think that's good. That puts us very close to something like a G2 or a Valve Index.
Yeah. Ruuts, do you use it with your Pro headphones or no?
Mm-mm. Well, I mean, it depends. Like if I'm playing a PC VR game, usually I've got my Samsung earbuds, and I'll just pair those and plop them in, and I can have really good audio. I don't need them. I just it's good to, especially something like Uncharted, where I really need to hear what Sam's telling me, as things are going on. You haven't tried that yet, Mash? What the hell? What's wrong with you?
What the
How
fuck,
dare you?
I feel dirty
How
every
dare
time you
you.
bring it up because I haven't tried it yet. I really do.
It's so
It's so
good,
good.
dude. It's so good. Makes me want to go play it right now, actually, thinking about
Play it with your Quest 3. It's going to look amazing.
it. D's Quest 3.
Well, yeah. That's what it is. You don't need to buy one. Just steal D's. She's getting one, so-
Yeah, just trade off. This is my thing. Another thing, by not getting the Quest 3, I've got extra money sitting around in case Valve does decide to drop a headset, because I really am leaning towards picking that up if it comes out, because I want a really good DisplayPort headset, and I'm sure
Pico
Valve
5.
is but I don't want a Pico headset. So, you know what I mean? That's my thing. I just I don't trust them. No, I don't know. I don't have any reason not to trust them. I just I'd rather it stay in the family, in the fam, the Valve fam.
Bottom line for this on the Quest 3, I would say if anybody out there was either bought one and wants to make sure that and feel better about their purchase, or if they're on the fence about buying one, I would say 100% go buy it. It is a huge upgrade over your Quest 2. You will want it. It's amazing looking in the headset. These pancake lenses are a game changer for people over the old Fresnel lenses. The IPD is a real IPD now. It's not, remember guys, this is not single panel anymore. This is individual screens, which makes a huge difference. We didn't even talk about that.
It does make a big difference.
Yeah. And then, you have a huge sweet spot now in these lenses. It's not like it was before where, the FOV is definitely better. Like it's a lot better than the Quest 2.
So is it definitely I've heard some people say that it's a noticeable upgrade. Meta certainly says that it's a substantial upgrade over Quest 2, but then I've had other people who said, you know what, when you're in the headset, it seems pretty similar.
How could it not be? You've got a bigger sweet spot. The lenses you're able to see from edge to edge. And then you're able to get your eyes closer. And I think that's part of it too, is you can move those lenses. So if people aren't taking advantage of that and bringing those lenses closer, you may not have a bigger FOV. If you bring those lenses in closer, it's gonna increase it.
Yeah, and you know how on the Quest Pro it has the dial on top that moves it moves the head pad so you can either get your eyes closer to the screen or not. Has a very similar thing here, not exactly. It inside the facial interface, like down inside the side of it, has like a little button that you can kind of like push up and down. And what that does, it has basically what they would consider a built-in glasses
spacer.
Spacer. So basically, you can move the facial interface up and down to get your eyes closer. So if you don't wear glasses, you dial yourself way in, just like with the Quest Pro. You will absolutely feel like you have way more field of view than in the Quest 2. Again, the jump is not as big, say, from the Quest Pro because, again, those lenses are so big and you have no big facial interface. So it just feels like your eyes are on top of the lenses.
You can angle it, too, and you can really get those lenses really close to your face.
But for those that are sporting the Quest 2, you are going to put this on and go, holy shit, it's a lot different. So anybody who's saying it's not noticeably different, I guarantee if you put them side by side, they would be like, wow, it is different. Or they've got a Quest Pro and they're not thinking about the Quest 2. That's what I would say, because it's going to be noticeable.
That's going to be great. That's going to be one of the coolest things about having this thing in our hands next week is being able to do the A/B testing, right? And really say definitively, what this thing looks like versus the 2, what it looks like versus the Pro, what it looks like versus G2.
The spec sheet is different too, by the way. Just so you know, like old Darth said, the spec sheet is the same as the Quest 2. It's not. The spec sheet is 110. No. It's 110 degree field of view on the Quest 3, and that's not on the Quest 2. Right. So I would check your spec sheet or whoever you're looking at. You're going to see some comparisons out there that probably are not the right specs. Quest 3 again is 110 degree field of view with a
vertical.
90 degree diagonal.
Yeah.
Which is definitely more than the Quest 2.
You convinced me. I'm getting one right now.
You're gonna want to get it. I just have a feeling you're gonna want to get it.
Come on, let's be honest. Have I ever not gotten something, then got it, or sold it, and then re-got it, and sold it, and re-got it? Oh wait, that happens all the time. So it's really not outside the realm for Wes to say, you may be picking this up, or you as well, because I might be. Who knows, man? Like I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So but I know at this point I don't see a point to have it. I might feel different after I've had it on my face. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it, and the fact of the matter that he's not pre-ordering doesn't mean that he won't just fucking drive to Best Buy and grab one.
It's right there.
I was gonna say he can walk right
down the street. It's right down the
Best Buy and go get it.
And I've got the cash on hand. Like it's not like I don't have the money. It's not like I'm in a decent situation where I've actually got full roommates and so my money's not like very, very tight like it was last year. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll get together in Vegas and do a big co-location
That would be
game
sick.
of
That would
Domino
be
or something.
cool. GT
That would be
will be
awesome.
there. GT, we know you're going to be there.
All right, so yeah, definitely a lot more to come on Quest 3 as we move further through this insane month for VR, which is October 2023. But people are going to need games to play on this thing, and that's what Oprah is all about making happen. Is to help people get those games, son. You need those games. You got to have money for it, and Oprah's got you covered because we are giving away $25 gift cards to the VR platform of your choice. You playing on PSVR 2? We got you covered with PSN. Are you playing on PCVR only because you're a graphics whore and like to play games from 2017? Well, we got you covered there as well with Steam gift cards. Or are you waiting for your Quest 3 to show up and need a spot on that Assassin's Creed game? Well, we've got you covered for that one as well. $25 gift cards going out to the first person on my screen that can answer the following question correctly. Again, first person on my screen. Your screen doesn't count, only mine. By the way, did we just, yeah, Rex BK09 with another $20 donation says Pimax 12K QLED for the win.
Yeah, my thing is I'm very interested to see what Pimax is going to copy next. I mean, make next, because
this big, son. It's going to be
who loves it when it's this big.
My mom.
Oh yeah, she does. How crazy is it that the Pico's controllers now look like the touch or the
exactly the same
instead of the PlayStation VR 2? Like it's not even, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. That's crazy to me.
I know,
this
it's
Pico
weird,
5
right?
headset has got me intrigued though. Have you guys seen the specs for the specs for this thing?
No, but
I've heard that was bullshit. Like I've heard multiple people say that.
Even if they were, it was
I don't
not
know.
bullshit. What is it? Like it all has to come together in a package that all works and looks great. And I'm not saying Picos don't, because it doesn't, because people love it or whatever. But there's a lot more than just specs. A good chunk of it, and I'm going to even choke on saying this because Meta fucking sucks with the way they break their software and shit. But like the software and how the operating system and everything that runs it, the ASW, everything, all of the tracking, everything matters. It's not just the fucking specs of the headset. Everybody gets so wrapped up in how all these specs, everything still needs to be great and run great. And Meta's got a really good track record with how everything runs. And I just, if they would just make my link cable work, I'd be happy.
For real.
I just want a DisplayPort cable on one of these.
Yes. Why do they not?
That's why the Pico 5's got me intrigued. And Wes, I mean, I don't know if these things are right, but I mean, we talked. Remember, we went and saw Pico. I mean, they alluded to this headset back then. What was that, CES or was it GDC or one of them? I mean, they alluded to this headset. I would tend to agree with it more than not agree, or believe in it more than not believe it.
Here's the crazy thing: is that they can do DisplayPort over USB-C now. So like, there's literally no reason why they shouldn't do that. Like, why are they not doing that? Why isn't everyone doing USB-C DisplayPort now? Like, it's crazy.
The only thing that's
kind of it's kind of like what Sony's doing through their I mean, it's not a DisplayPort on PSVR 2. It's a USB-C, but it's DisplayPort technology, right?
It's a specific specific port too that's made for that cable. That's the problem.
Right.
Like everybody's got all these different USBs, all these conflicts. USB is not. It's not as good. It just isn't as stable for whatever reason. At least for me.
Well, it's because of the way Meta uses it. It's because instead of using that USB-C as a straight video feed, they're using it to stream video, which is a different process completely. Introduces compression and latency, and Again, though we don't know if it's going to suck in the next generation with the more
That's true.
powerful hardware. It could be great, but only time will tell.
That's true.
Anyway, $25 gift card, platform of your choice. First person on my screen to answer the following question wins the dough, the cheese, if you will, the bread. All right, so first person that can name an exclusive Quest 3 title wins the gift card.
Ooh, nice.
Exclusive Quest 3 title.
Quest 3 exclusives are what we're looking for
Interesting.
here. Mind Jive says
Nice.
Asgard's Wrath 2. That is an exclusive to the Meta platform. And that's what we were looking for. So thank you, Mind Jive. Congratulations. If you didn't win, don't fret. You can win later in the show because we're going to give 2 more away. Or you can win after the fact during our second chance drawing. Next week, we're giving 4 more away. And all you have to do to enter that drawing is subscribe and leave a comment down below saying that you would like to enter the second chance drawing. Platform of your choice, $25 gift card. Sign up, tell your friends.
Do you think we'll get
I'm going to drop a key right now.
Nice.
I'm going to drop a key for the cabin right now. I'm just going to drop it in chat. Whoever gets it, gets it, right?
Do you think we'll get a mixed reality version of the Room VR?
Ooh, maybe.
What are your thoughts? And this is the reality. Like, a lot of people live in a lot of shitholes, right? Like, and maybe not even their house sucks, but the way they live, they're trashed. Maybe you don't want to look at your own room. Like that's one of the best things about VR is you put your headset on and your trashy room is not trashy anymore. It's fucking gone. It's kind of assuming that you want to look at your own environment, right? And I think a lot of people don't want to look at their own environment. That VR is kind of the escape. So kind of interesting to think if for some people that won't be that as appealing, right?
It's gonna be different for everyone, right? Like that's the beautiful thing about a mixed reality headset versus just a straight up AR, right?
Yeah, you can do both.
Did you guys see the one of the coolest things that I saw about during the show, the MetaQuest Connect, openings remarks by Mark Zuckerberg? He showed spatial anchoring of different items in mixed reality that will stay in your environment now. So, you can change your own environment to look better. You know what I mean? You can actually make your environment look more enticing, to you visually by putting different things from different games, and you can anchor them in your environment, so they'll always be there. So they even talked about having a portal that you can put on the wall that'll look like a painting or a picture or a mirror of one of your favorite games, and you can just go up to it and kind of like put your hand in it, and it will actually pull you into the game.
Oh wow!
Like you can launch the game from that spot. I mean, think about those things, or think about anchoring in your own home on your kitchen counter. Things from any game, one of your favorite games, you could have something from that game on your counter all the time. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, those are the types of things that with mixed reality, I think that'll be special.
Harry Potter portraits all over your house.
Yeah,
and by
that would be
Harry
cool.
Potter, I mean the little pictures that move. And what's crazy is to think about it in conjunction with AI, which the AI right now can do a very convincing job of taking a still photograph from years ago and making it into a 3-second video clip with movement.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah,
it's getting kind of creepy, man. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool. I definitely think that would be. So.
Rob Harv sliding in here says, "Hey guys, finally catching up. It's with the live at 6:53 a.m. in the UK.
So
Breakfast VR.
What I just heard is that we should be seeing a Paradise Decay and a GT sighting here in the next hour or so.
Yeah. We should be here already. Well, how dare they?
Yeah, how dare you guys?
How dare
Thank you, Mr. Bowen Bean. Says congrats on the 200. Thank you very much. By the way, I don't know if anyone got it, but Eric just dropped a key for Drop Dead the Cabin on Quest. People need to snap that up. Not only is it a great Quest 2 game with co-op optional on it, but it also has a free mixed reality update coming for Quest 3, and one of the games I'm more excited about playing with regard to mixed reality. So
it's kick ass. I did the demo on Gamescom. It's probably one of the best mixed reality experiences I've done so far.
Somebody grab that key, and if you grabbed it, tell Eric thank you, because he didn't have to do that. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Boy Brown says episode 400 will be Quest 5 release. Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I
Anyways,
think you're giving Meta too much credit. It'll probably be Meta the Quest 7 by then.
Quest 7, right?
Yeah. You know, because they're picking up the pace on their releases here.
Chris Duncan said somebody got it because he didn't, and he tried.
Nice. So, congratulations.
Congrats to whoever picked it up. So yeah, I guess we should get on with the main event of the evening. Our good friend and godfather of our channel, Anthony from VR365, stopped by with us on Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. It was the day after. No, it was the day of. It was Wednesday, the day of the Meta Connect keynote. We wrapped up that whole deal with talking to our good friend Anthony about the state of VR, what he's been up to since we last saw him a couple years ago, and the way that the industry's going forward. This is a pre-recorded interview, and it's rather lengthy, which some people are going to love because, like us, people miss Anthony.
Yeah.
So
I miss him already, Wes, and we just saw him a couple days ago. Hell, dude.
I know, right? So everybody pop some popcorn, get comfortable in your seat, but don't go anywhere, because when we get back, we're going to give away 2 more gift cards before we sign off. So I'll see you all in roughly, 80 minutes, Ruuts?
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes or so, somewhere around there. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to say fuck you to those bastards, those Ruuts and Wes. They think they're better than us. Yeah.
They were hanging out with Anthony. They are better.
Yeah. Oh, Mash, come on, dude. No, you don't have to fucking go there, bro.
But it's past Anthony, right? It's not even current Anthony.
That's not even current, present Anthony. So.
Like current Anthony's probably on his way out to pre-order his Quest 3 right now, but past Anthony might not be so enthusiastic.
That's true.
Let's find out. So here we are.
I cut you off there. Go ahead. You said that.
No, I was just throwing to it.
Okay.
I was saying that yeah.
All right.
So here we are, episode 200. It must be a special episode because it would have to be a special occasion to get this man out from under his rock. What would you say, Ruuts? Probably the most requested potential guest on our program, and one of only a handful of guests that we've ever even had on. Anthony, or the artist formerly known as Anthony from VR365. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a really long time, but it's funny because I've thought about potentially being on somebody's show and just kind of talking about VR. And so when I heard from you guys that you guys were having an episode 200, I was like, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. It's a way for me to do this thing and kind of just talk about VR a little bit now that I'm like so far removed from VR. And it's almost like, for me, I have this like external overhead view of VR where I haven't really been paying attention to the daily minutia. And I think it might be interesting for some of the people that are like, have always been hardcore VR, have never left that bubble, to hear from somebody that was like super hardcore in the bubble and then like basically was Tom Hanks, Castaway, straight up Castaway.
You know what you are now, Anthony? You're literally Joe Walmart. We've talked about you many times.
Basically, yeah. I have converted.
But I do appreciate you coming on. I mean, you're literally the godfather of our channel, I'd like to say. I mean, we all met in your chat, in your community, and it's all kind of, everything we've done since then has sprung up from there. And it might seem like a small thing, because I'm not like a big YouTuber or anything now. I mean, our channel is growing still slowly, but I mean, I work in the industry now and I do a lot. I'm on bigger channels, and everything really all kind of stemmed from interacting with Ruuts and other people in your community. So very happy to have you on, and glad to get your thoughts on VR as it stands today.
I VR Roundtable. That was like my first, and still is my favorite podcast that I've watched in VR. And I just, I think you don't realize how much you've impacted at so many people, myself included. Just knowing you has been a pleasure. So yeah, I'm glad
Can I
you're
look
here
at
as
my
well.
navel real quick? No.
You can, yeah, yeah. We don't. You know what's funny, Anthony, is like as I go further, and I actually was just ranting a little bit on the Discord about this in a sense. Like I love. I've been playing so many amazing flat games, and I'm finding myself not quite in the same position you were at, but I've realized we're 5 years at least from where I want to be in VR with all the AAA games, and like so I'm playing all these VR mods and I'm enjoying them, but VR as a whole is a lot more hollow now for me than it was a year ago, 2 years ago. And so like I'm like struggling to find relevance and then have patience because I know that there's processes. People want to go, if we just had wanted to go from the NES all the way to the Switch, it doesn't work that way. It takes decades. And the problem is we want decades from now VR, and it's not here, and so I go into all these shallow VR games, and there's really good ones out there, but there's a lot of shallow ones gameplay wise that just don't like the games that I've played this year flat, like some of the best games I've ever played. So deep and so amazing. And I could say that for Elden Ring last year and some of these other games. And so my problem is I'm a gamer first and a VR enthusiast second, and it's starting to become a weird situation. So I guess all that being said is I'm seeing your outlook a lot more than I used to. Like I used to look at it and like when you were getting frustrated, I didn't get it. Now I do. So
Yeah, well, it's interesting because like my history with video games in general is I always was this early adopter guy. Like that was like ever since I was like 19, 20, and I really got into video games. Like I bought a Turbo Graphics. It was the very first system that I actually bought with my actual money. And then quickly, like a few months later, I ended up buying a Sega Genesis. I bought a Super Nintendo the day it came out. I bought the Sega CD the day it came out. I bought the Atari Jaguar the day it came out. I bought PlayStation 1 the day it came out. I bought the Saturn on the day that it secretly came out. Well, I mean, people didn't know before it was going to come out, and then they knew, and I bought it that day. And I was this early adopter guy. And what I was always doing is I was always jumping to that next thing because I wanted the greater experience. That I was always chasing like this dragon of like this more powerful experience. No, I want it better. You know what I mean? It's like regular people, yeah, you're playing those regular games. I want to jump to this like new level, this new plateau. And every new system that would come out, Nintendo 64, I remember the first time I saw Mario running around and it was like Technicolor cartoon. It was at Toys R Us at a little kiosk in Toys R Us. And those were the game changers for me. And then when VR came, like to me, it just seemed like it's a natural progression. Just like people were playing Super Nintendo and then they ended up getting a PlayStation. Well, when people first got the PlayStation, there wasn't a lot of people that were playing the PlayStation when it first came out. And most people were playing Super Nintendo and Genesis. And it took time for them to merge into finally getting a PlayStation. And so people would always come along. And the reason I'm telling this long, convoluted tale is because when it comes to VR, I had the same hope. I had the same hope that we're here first. It's an undiscovered country. like it always is whenever you're on a brand new platform. We're here first. And yeah, everybody's going to poo poo it and say that, oh, that's a fad and it's not the thing and it's not going to be the thing. But like 4 or 5 years later, everybody comes along for the ride, right? And 4 or 5 years later, you get everybody's there. This is where everybody's gaining. But this has not happened with VR. This is the reality. Like a lot of things are going to be said during this conversation that is not necessarily going to be positive for VR in general, but I think we got to just like call a spade, and sometimes you just have to deal with like what is laying out there in front of you. And the truth of the matter is that VR has not caught on like any of these other things. Like everybody naturally progressed to PlayStation, and everybody naturally progressed to Dreamcast and PlayStation 2, and everybody progressed to Xbox and then Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Everybody moved along, and it took time, but everybody moved along. And with this VR thing, it's like the roads parted, and most people are just still in the regular gaming road. And a few people jumped over and tried VR. And remember how like many years ago we were like, oh my God, is this going to poison the well? It kind of did. It kind of did poison the well because like if you spend much time on Reddit and if you ever go to Reddit all where it's just, all the subreddits, right? It's just like Reddit general. So you just see what like people across the country and the world, like just regular Reddit people. And so stuff will filter up from all the little subgenres basically that will filter in. And recently there was something that filtered in about the metaverse. And basically, and it was something like the metaverse was dead before it was something like the metaverse was dead before it even happened. Like it never even got to be alive, and they're mourning the metaverse, and it was never alive.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that from the sidelines, and I'm like, man, that's harsh. But in their reality, it's actually true. Now I know in the hardcore VR game nut job reality, no, there's still plenty of great things that people are playing, and I'm sure there's people out there like Chris Richardson that is enjoying the shit out of everything VR that there is to offer. But they're kind of like the people that are in VR still are basically like the racing game guys that have the steering wheels and the freaking foot pedals and shit. And it's like the mainstream isn't there. Now I'm not saying it can never happen. And honestly, if I'm betting money, I still believe I've always said, I had this phrase where I'd be like, VR has left the train station or whatever. You know what I mean? It's left the station. Like it's over with. Like this is going to happen. It's a matter of when. Well, the win is like 10 years longer than I could have ever imagined.
Right. And that's the problem. And that's what I was talking about and that's what I said in the Discord earlier. I can't imagine a traditional flat gamer that really loves flat gaming going into VR and being pulled over. There's a few games that they could hold up to the level, Alex, whatever. But most games, it's not enough to entice people. And so I believe that's why it's not been adopted. We don't, and I think, and I've said this before, I think the community is part of the problem, and they want too much. They want everything to be first person, touch controls. There's a phase that they want to skip. They want to skip the hybrid phase. The hybrid phase makes the games feasible for big companies to make. It's a second nature. They don't have to think about putting it in VR. They put it in VR. The controls are the same. People go in, they experience the exact same game. They can put it out for two audiences, and it really doesn't cost much. And as you get 5, 10, 15, 20 amazing titles that are native to VR that you can go into, and some of the best games that I've played, actually the best games I've played in VR, have been VR mods that aren't native, that feel native because they're amazing games. Uncharted 4, played that for the first time this last year. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's opened my eyes to where, like I've said before, the devs, like, and it's not even their fault. That's the problem. Things are moving so fast. like a lot of these games, they just aren't cutting it. They're not on the level of anything that anybody wants to play. It's your baby, you made it. Everybody doesn't, you think everybody's going to love it, you put it out there and it sucks because the game sucks. You know, like it is what it is. And I'm frustrated because I want that level that you're talking about, that you left VR because it isn't there. And I'm just realizing today, it's one of the reasons why I'm not getting the Quest 3. I got the Quest Pro. It's good enough for what we have. I don't think we need another headset meta. We need some fucking games that aren't episodic. You want to put out Assassin's Creed? Give me the real game, the actual fucking game in VR. Don't give me a little snippet. You know, that's part of the problem too. We get AAA light, and we need they just need to step it up on what they're going to do if they want the mass adoption of those players to come over from flat gaming. It's going to take a lot more than what's happening right now, even more than Asgard's Wrath 2. Although I'm sure it'll be amazing, it's just not on the level of like a Remnant 2, even Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 3. These are three of the most recent titles that have just been phenomenal this year. Although Diablo 4 is now kind of garbage. So I don't know. I'm frustrated, Anthony. So I'm right there with you. I still love VR. I feel like we're further away than I would have ever dreamed to where I want it to be. And it's my personal problem. I realize that.
Let's talk for a minute about why that is. You know, Anthony, you mentioned this natural progression of going from one thing into the next thing into the next thing, you know, from Super Nintendo to PlayStation to PlayStation 2, 3, Xbox. And you expected VR to kind of follow a same trajectory after it came out. But something happened, you know, in that 3 to 5 year period after VR came out. You know, when VR first came, when you bought into it, it was largely exclusively a gaming platform. But over time, Meta kind of bought and co-opted VR, and that's when the things started kind of shifting away from gaming and like more toward metaverse and other applications other than gaming. Do you think that has anything to do with why we kind of broke away from that usual progression of video game technology? Is because they're trying to make this into more than just an entertainment device.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that, like, what is the key problem is really what this all boils down to. And like Ruuts was talking about, it's that we don't have like real games, we don't have the real experiences. And then so he's saying like a better idea is let's have regular games and just kind of retrofit them to VR because that's where we're at right now, and we just deal with that. And then you're talking about how there's too much of a focus on maybe non-gaming. Maybe that's a problem. I honestly think that the core root of the problem, because what happens is when people get VR, like everybody goes through the same deal. I mean, everybody that gets VR goes through the same deal from the standpoint where they get really excited about it in the very beginning. They're like blown away. They're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so incredible. There's that initial honeymoon period. And then what happens is over time, you just start using it less. And when you think about it that way, the true reality is it's just not effing compelling enough. That's just the bottom line. It's got to be so freaking compelling. Like, it's not compelling enough. I literally have not played VR in almost 2 years. Yet I'm a former VR nut job that like talked about VR every day for like 4 years prior to that. Thought about deep VR 24 hours a day. Played VR all the time. Was searching the news, watching trailers, doing all this stuff. And then I disappeared from VR for 2 years. Like, the fact that I'm able to actually do that tells you that it's just not that goddamn compelling. There's got to be shit on here where when you put that headset on, you're like, oh my effing God, I want to spend like 9 hours in this thing. And what happens is when people first get VR, they do kind of get that feeling, but it wears off pretty damn quick. And I feel like what happened is we started, well, really, honestly, the fault goes to like Meta and it goes to Zuckerberg, like announcing the metaverse and changing your name to Meta and all of that, probably like 7 years too early, like jumping the gun like 7 or 8 years too early. This technology, we've made leaps and bounds, and I mean, it's incredible, like the advances that have been made, but at the same time, it's just not ready for prime time. It simply isn't. Like these big headsets that people have on their head, like it's no, this is nowhere near ready for prime time. It's amazing that it even like did what it did and became a thing as much as it did when it's nowhere near ready. But I don't want people to think like, oh, Anthony's just shitting on VR and he thinks VR sucks. No, VR is going to be ridiculous. AR is going to be ridiculous. I still believe in that future. I believe that future is a can't miss future. It's just I was like 15 years wrong, you know? So like 10 years from now, I think we will have the technological. I used to have a little show where I was like, have we hit the baseline? I had some kind of thing about, are we at the baseline level of hardware? And I'd have debates with Reckoner VR and stuff. You know, is VR at a base? I think we were talking about maybe the first Quest or something. We're like, has VR hit a baseline with the first Quest? And the answer is no. We have not hit a baseline, man. We're in the Atari 2600 ColecoVision and television days. And if you go back to the Atari 2600 ColecoVision and television days, back at that time, you could show some people this stuff and they'd be like, man, those are just bleeps and bloops. Wake me up when there's like actual people that look like real human beings. And you literally had to wait until like the Super Nintendo. You couldn't even show them the Nintendo Entertainment System because they'd be like, man, it still looks like stick figures. They're just a little bit bigger and they have a few more blocks on them, but it's not much. I mean, you literally had to wait for like Super Nintendo to even for these people to even consider it. And I feel like we're kind of in the same thing with VR. And where I go back to is the the real problem, in my opinion, is not like all these things that they're trying to do with, oh, we've got the new Snapdragon XR2 version, slightly overclocked. It's processing more polygons and stuff. It's not enough. It's not going to work. What we need, honestly, is we need a field of view that is way the F bigger, and the person themselves needs to be in VR. Like if I was named like Grand Emperor of VR, I would say, okay, here's what we have to do. We have to literally throw everything away. And we have to start over from this idea of 220 degrees of vertical, I mean, the full human vision, okay? And I don't give an F if it's like 280p, okay? We need the full human vision combined combined with camera tracking, some sort of external camera tracking, AI, machine learning, whatever you want to do that analyzes your body and does an automatic green screening of your body and it puts your body into VR, whatever you're wearing, whatever, if you have a watch on or you don't have a watch on, if you have a tan right now or you don't, if you have tattoos or whatever, if you're wearing this shirt, if you're wearing that shirt, you're literally, whatever you are, you're in VR. We need to get to that level. Like when you're watching Stargate or something back in the 90s, and it was like anytime anybody went into some like new portal and they stepped into some new fantasy world for the first time, they would every single time they would step through and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you know, I've entered into this new world." We can't do that in VR. Still, to all this time, we're still not in the game. We're not in the game. EA, you're in the game. No, I'm not. We're still not in the game. So until we're actually in the game and until it actually has the full human field of vision, and I don't care if we're dealing with stick graphics. I don't care if we have to go back to Nintendo Entertainment level system graphics, but if we do that, we get the 220 degrees and we get ourselves completely in VR. But that'll be the true immersion. And then you build there. So I kind of go back to like what Gabe Newell, like back in the days, he was saying, no, you've got to keep pushing this technology before you like settle in and say, oh, this is okay now. And then now you're going to iterate from this where you're not even there. We're not even there yet. So we hit this thing where it's like, oh yeah, let's settle down. It's nice and calm. This is comfy and cozy. And now we're going to build games in this little crappy environment. We haven't even hit the technological level that we need to get to. VR has to get to this point where every man, woman, and child that tries it, it's so effing compelling that they just can't resist it. And we're so far away from that, man. I truly wonder, like, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I know it's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable as well. So I'm not like trying to shit all over this stuff. I'm just saying, like, I have friends where I've shown them VR and they'll look at it for a couple of minutes. Like, I have friends that have literally never tried VR in their entire life. I put them in VR. They're kind of amazed by it for about 15 minutes. And then 2 hours later, they're talking about, yeah, the Dallas is playing the 49ers. Like, like they haven't had a game changing experience that has changed their whole world. And they're like, wait a minute, I got to get home and I got to put my credit card in and I got to order this thing and I got to, it needs to be to the point where it's like, this is life. Like, I need this thing. I'm addicted to this thing. And we're just nowhere near there, in my opinion.
So do you think that kind of the steps that because I agree with you, and I think we all agree that, you know, the end game is what you're describing. It's retinal resolution, it's varifocal lenses, it's codec avatars that are photorealistic. That's what we're all building toward, and even Meta will tell you that that's kind of the goal. Do you think that kind of the stepping stones that we're going through right now is getting us there quicker by allowing us to kind of fund research to lead us there, or do you think that it's holding us back by having some people kind of settle for the current level of the technology rather than really pushing for something transformative?
I think it's both of those simultaneously, which is the problem. Like Meta has done the most for VR, but it's also hurt VR the most in certain sorts of ways where
Agree.
it
Totally.
has, yeah, I mean it has created this baseline standard that's good enough. And it see the problem is the Quest 2 was just barely successful enough, just barely successful enough that it made them think that they're on the right track and everything's good with this. And so now, one thing I will say, I did see like, I saw Mark today. I watched some of the Connect. I didn't see the entirety of the whole thing, but I saw a lot of it. And the one thing that I am excited about to a slight degree with the Quest 3, the thing that I'm most excited about, and this is another problem that I was going to bring up, like, VR has problems. There's a lot of problems. For example, I've moved to this apartment. I'm in this apartment right now, and right up there is a ceiling fan. My other room has a ceiling fan. I have this other little bedroom, but it's got like a slanted roof where, like, if I was playing something and going like that, I could smack my controller against the roof. And so basically, I've all like every single room in this apartment is not designed for VR. And I can remember in the very early days of VR, do you guys remember when Strauss Zelnick for Take-Two Interactive, the head honcho of Take-Two Interactive, you know, Grand Theft Auto, 2K Sports, blah, 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 he said, VR is never going to work. And he basically said, people aren't going to dedicate a room to this. That was one of his key phrases. And you know what? Dude actually nailed it. He actually nailed it like 10 years early and dodged all those like Microsoft. If you want to give somebody an award, like, let's be real, let's be honest. Do you know how many billions and millions of dollars that Microsoft has dodged by not investing in VR in a major way? And it honestly has freaking, like, they've been rewarded. Like, they called it right. Like, everything's worked out for them. Okay. But in regards to this room thing, back in the days when we first saw the Qualcomm XR2 and they had those Qualcomm commercials and it was like scene recognition and understanding. And you know, it had the kid running up the stairs and it was like he was in Vanishing Realms. You know, he's in like a role playing game in his own house and he jumps onto his bed, which is like a thing in the role playing game. You know, we saw those commercials years ago. And this Quest 3, they were showing that you know it's going to kind of map your room and stuff.
Yeah.
But my question with that is like, okay, like I'm interested in seeing that and how good it is, but that is really key. And I just don't feel like this $499 thing is going to actually have the required technology to really do that properly. But I do believe that that is a huge part of the problem is that you can't just be free with VR. Like I have this big ass TV right here, and if I start playing VR in this room, it's going to be so easy for me to potentially smack this TV. So for me to play VR in this room, I'd have, and I've done it before. I did like when I first moved here, I played VR occasionally in this house a few times. And what I would do is I would take this TV and I pushed it all the way back against the wall, and then I like cleared everything out of here so there were no little obstructions. And then I would draw my little play area, but it would only be so big because you know I'm in this small little thing. See, that's the thing. I was so spoiled, man. Remember that man cave I had that was like gigantic? And in the early days of the Vive, I had like a 20 by 20 freaking humongous play area. I could crawl on the ground, unseen diplomacy, you know, where you're going through the ducts and stuff of a building and you're like climbing through here and going around there. Oh man, dude, that shit was so next level. And but that was a huge ass play space. And so now I'm in this situation kind of like Gary in his little garage in the back, you know, that you can he can play in. He always had this super small space and I'm in that sort of a situation here and it just doesn't bode well for VR. But if we really do have headsets that can truly understand your rooms. And here's what I think they need to do though. I think they need to go way beyond just having the headset like look around at your room, you know, and it puts a mesh over everything. Like that's great. Obviously that's the first step. But I think if Oculus, Facebook, Meta, whoever, I mean, if they were to go real deep with this, what I think they should do is they should actually have a catalog of like sofas, and it's like you're sorting through sofas. Oh, there it is. There's my sofa, and then they're like, boom. You get like it's measuring it, and it plops it into place. Oh, there's my table stand. You know, like the picture analyzes, like, is this your table stand? This is how many inches. And then it starts to literally learn. Okay, like this wall, this ceiling it starts to realize this is the kitchen, this is the living room. Now, this becomes a dystopian nightmare in certain ways as well, because you're like giving all of it. You're giving all of it to Zuck and company. Like they're going to know everything. Because literally, what it needs to know that, oh, you left your slippers. You know, you left your basketball right. Like it needs to like recognize objects that come into your play area that aren't always in your play area, cats, dogs, a kid walking by or whatever. It's going to have to learn, like, what about the legality of all this shit, man? Do you remember in the very earliest days of VR, we used to have debates like, because remember when, I'm talking the early days of VR, like 2016, remember when Oculus just had the two cameras? They weren't doing the freaking lighthouse thing, right? They were doing full on motion control. It was like an Xbox controller with two cameras. They were afraid in the early days, they were afraid of like liability. And why wouldn't they? Where's the people that have died in VR? Has anybody, like, people should have probably died in VR. Like, people that are playing upstairs and they have like these like open railings where if they walk too far, they could just fall over and bam, hit their head or something, you know. And it's like you would think there would be these legalities to it. And for them to actually do this mesh thing where they're going to be like scanning people's rooms. Now, if it had freaking LiDAR built into the headset, like Waymo cars have, or Chevy Cruze or something like that.
Or Apple Vision Pro, which is coming next year, does have LiDAR in it.
Yeah, or Apple Vision Pro. And Apple, we can talk about that as well. And the one thing I'll say, like if we want to segue to Apple, is goddamn, they did one thing.
We spend just as much time praising that stuff as we do. I could do it on another
Okay, so
another stream. We can call it
But
part two.
you can't just go back live now though?
yeah, I don't know.
We're still technically live on YouTube's end. It's just blocked.
Yeah. Oh, is that what? But you can't not get a
Because
screen
it
back.
kind of sounded like if you're going to continue, like we had the option, right?
Right.
I don't see a button though to do that. I mean, you can maybe stop it and start it again on your end.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a green now instead of a yellow, so maybe it's coming back.
Oh,
we
yeah,
ready to
we're
come
back. Hey, we're back, guys. We're on. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Are we actually okay? So we're
on,
back.
yes.
Hey, you know what? I love Apple. Apple's so good, man.
Yes,
It's just such
Apple,
an easy
you
company
know.
to work with. You think they would want people to talk about them, you know what I mean? But otherwise, if you show any of their footage, they're gonna just shut you down.
But you know what is funny? I've ran into this issue with not necessarily streams being shut down, but Sony not wanting us to watch their videos as well, or just game trailers in general. And it's like you don't want to promote your game. Very bizarre. But yeah. But
do you think it's Apple or do you think it's Anthony? You think just they didn't want
I think it's
Anthony back on?
Anthony,
They were just
yeah.
like, fuck Anthony, we don't want him back. You know what I mean?
so what we're gonna have to do, Wes was saying before, he's gonna have to edit the video, edit the footage of Apple out, and then we'll put the
But
video.
what I'll do is I'll just cover it up. So during that segment where the Apple footage is running in the background, just so I won't have to cut any of the audio out, I'll just superimpose some other footage on top of it that's not Apple. Maybe I'll put some gameplay, or maybe I'll run the Quest stuff,
Or you could
Quest 3
just
stuff on top
you
of it.
could
again.
just put a notepad that says Apple, you suck, dick, and that would work for
Yeah,
me.
let's do that.
Anyway. So yeah.
Anyway, that sucks, guys. Sorry that we couldn't finish it. We were only about halfway through, maybe a little over halfway through the interview. I will upload it as a standalone episode on its own, so that everyone who was interested can finish out the conversation. But it was a good one, right? Roots, it was fun to catch up with Anthony and kind of get his take on it. Kind of sucks that it went down when it did, because there were some moments of positivity before we saw the end. But I guess people are just going to have to stay tuned if they want to catch that part of it.
The
Did he go on
ultimate-
like a big rant? Did he go into like any
No,
big,
he
like,
actually was very,
No.
very key. I think I ranted more in the beginning about my frustration with video games than he did. But no, there's people that are very upset that they just got pretty much like, you just got cucked. Like, you're screwed. You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait.
Yep.
I want to sit here and say nobody go buy the Apple headset, but nobody's going to buy the Apple headset anyway. Not many people. They're only going to make about 20 of them anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I
Uh,
would love to have that Apple headset, but I don't think it'll ever happen because I don't like Apple stuff in general. So
I can buy a car for that, bro.
Yes,
Car.
and you've got teenagers that are getting to the point where they need to drive a car, and that would be a great thing for them as well versus a headset.
So everybody go buy the Meta Quest 3. They didn't block us based on using their promo material. They actually want people to go buy it.
Yeah, we thought it was that at
kudos
first, right? And then as soon as we thought Apple, it was like, oh no, dude, that's of course it's Apple. So
You know what else is kind of strange that we're about to call it an early night here when it's 3:15 in the morning.
The episode's
I'm
a
about to
short
die.
one, 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I guess it all kind of worked out. But as Oprah on the screen will confirm, we do have a little bit of unfinished business with regard to we have 2 more $25 gift cards to give away to the platform, the VR platform of your choice. And if you do win this on Steam or on PlayStation, please use it to buy VR games. I'm not trying to buy your flat games, bro. This is a VR channel.
Yeah,
Unless you're going to mod them. You can buy moddables. We'll allow that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to think of a good question with multiple answers now. Like, I thought I had more time to come up with it.
I thought I had time to put my hoodie back on. Didn't have time for
you're
shit,
naked?
dude. No, I got my work shirt on.
It'd be funny if we came back and we were naked.
I don't know if funny would be that. I think we'd be violating terms of service.
They would shut us right down again?
Different level. Maybe that might be allowed more than Apple trailer. So.
Okay. So I have the question now. And for what it's worth, Prophecy 777 says, huge show. This is a medium-sized show for our channel. The 2023 show will be the huge show, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute.
Do you think anything
right
will
now,
ever beat the 2021 show? Or
nothing will ever beat the 2021 show.
how many hours was that? 14 plus hours?
14 plus. Yeah, unless we do something for charity one day and do like a 24-hour stream, which is not outside.
Saying that this year? 24-hour stream? Is that what you're saying? Confirmed.
Well, if we plan it right, we could easily do 2-hour segments for a little cat nap here or there, and
I said we do
That's
all
true.
24
straight.
All right,
We got to do
Called
a
it.
shot every half hour.
You guys
if we're doing it from Vegas, I'll agree to that.
You guys do a
Jaeger
shot,
bombs.
and I will do a hit.
I'll do a gummy.
Yes, Mash is gonna do a gummy.
You know who will give you a gummy? Just takes your teeth out.
Just take her teeth right out and take care of it.
Yeah, oh man, that's the best.
It is. Anyway, 2 gift cards, $25 to the VR platform of your choice, going to the 2 people in chat that correctly answer the following question first on my screen. Your screen doesn't count. My screen is the official screen. And the question goes a little something like this. There are a slew of VR games that are announced and confirmed to be releasing in October of 2023. Name one VR game that has been announced for October 2023, and you will win a gift card for $25 to the VR platform of your choice. First 2 to answer correctly win the cards.
Spoiler alert, it is October. So anything coming out this month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gilman coming through with the first one, and Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, coming through with the second. Both of them answering 7th guess. And as you can tell from the answers to this question, a lot of people are excited for 7th guest, right?
I am too. I think I was talking to Gilman about this. I thought I could have sworn he was saying something about this in the
Our
Discord.
friend Gamertag VR is putting it over pretty hard. I'm pretty sure it was Gamertag who said he's played it.
Well, I know he said
and
that for
was
sure, and he was really actually
very impressed with it. Yeah. Again, that was Gilman, Oh no, it wasn't Gilman. It was you got me confused in saying Gil. Oh, it was Gilman. Gilman and Scott, the PSVR game cap for life. But if you did not win, never fear, because we are giving away 4 more gift cards 1 week from the day when we do Game of the Month on Virtual Strangers episode 201. All you have to do to enter the second chance drawing is subscribe and leave a comment on the video down below that says that you would like to enter the second chance drawing, and you will be entered, and we will draw 1 week from the day. Congratulations to the winners. Give me just a second here while I record them in the annals of Virtual Strangers history.
You know who else loves anals?
Yeah, she does. Different anals, though. Gilman says, I have been following 7th Guest VR when I got back into Quest a month or 2 ago. That's perfect. Everything happens for a reason. All for the glory of God. You get the game.
Get in the game.
Like I talked to some of the devs from one of the dev teams that helped work on 7th Guest while I was at MetaConnect, and they were really excited for people to see this game, and I think it's going to be pretty amazing.
That's what you want from a dev, is you want them to be excited about the project, to be really excited. And I'm not talking about you're excited because you made this game and it actually sucks, and that's the only thing that's good about it is that you made it, but you think it's good, but it's not good. I'm talking about the good games that are good. And yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so winners. I'm talking to you, Spry Guy, Mind Jive, Gilman, and Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life. Hit me up on Discord and or Twitter, and tell me your preferred platform, and we will procure said gift cards for you and get them over to you ASAP.
Yeah,
and by ASAP, I mean as soon as I possibly can, which could be a month or two.
Next 15 minutes. Just kidding. So, and remember, if you didn't win today, like Wes said, you have a chance again to win in the comments, right? So just leave a comment, and do they have to say anything specific, Wes? Just that they want to be entered into the to the giveaway, and they want to also they have to also
you have to say that you want to enter. Just leaving a comment isn't enough. You have to say that you want to enter the contest. So if you're some jerk who wants to make sideways comments about Ruuts killing vermin or you know, horror games or whatever, you don't want to you don't get an entry for that. You've got to say, I want to enter the giveaway.
What if they put them together? What if they say, I hate the fact that Ruuts kills vermin, but I also want to be entered in the giveaway? I think that's acceptable.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's your call. So.
Well, if it's about me anyway, if you want to, because I love killing vermin.
You better not talk shit on me, bro. You'll be disqualified immediately.
You're out. You're out. Guido says, congrats on 200. Love everyone here. $20 super chat.
Thank you. Damn, Guido.
Guido, you rock, dude.
Guido's buying everybody's games this week.
Actually,
thank you, Guido.
The chat here today has been amazing. They all really helped buy these games, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, Scott says I'm a member of Discord, so that's cool. Yeah, I prefer Discord, honestly, because I can typically recognize people a lot easier on Discord. When it gets to Twitter, you get scammers, but you get scammers on Discord as well, but they're easier to spot. Like for example, our good friend Samson got hacked this week and was trying to DM me all weekend for some crazy reason.
Me too, man. I thought he was just really he was just really wanting to talk to me really bad.
He didn't message me, thank goodness. I was waiting. I was ready to talk to him.
I think GT's been locked out of his Discord for like 5 days. I think
that's crazy.
Something he said he hasn't been able to get in his Discord.
That's actually a good excuse. Like, I don't want to deal with these people anymore. I can't get into Discord anymore, guys. I'm so
I know.
sorry.
Do you think GT just needs a break?
He just needs a break.
He's like, look, I need a break from my Discord. I'm just going to tell everybody I can't get in.
Paradise Decay joining us as well. What's up, PD? Good to see you, friend.
What's up, dude?
I don't want to talk to any imposters, but I want to talk to Samson.
Yes, the real Samson.
Will the real Samson please stand up?
Please stand up.
Please stand up. please stand up and put one of these fingers on each hand up.
I
Each
can't believe
hand
all
up.
these people like have this. They were like halfway through this interview and then they just like there's no closure, right? You have no
I
idea where
know.
Anthony was going with this. It was like the best interview ever. I definitely
know.
recommend checking it out after Wes.
I'm gonna go
fix
finish.
this
I have access
You
to it,
do?
thank
You
God.
could.
So I am gonna go watch it. So
Yeah.
all you guys can suck it. I'm actually gonna go watch it.
So yeah, we'll get that
Definitely
uploaded tonight, tomorrow, and that way people can watch it during the week here, and we'll all be on the same page when we reconvene on Friday.
Yeah.
GT says, "Yeah, my Discord might get deleted today. I've been trying to sort it, and it's so stressful.
Oh my
Man,
God.
don't stress on it. It'll
delete it and
it'll
start from
sort
scratch.
itself out, or it won't. It's not worth letting your day be ruined over."
That's it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Paradise Decay said, "Where did Job go?" Job, that's a good question. I didn't ask Anthony about Job, but
I'm assuming he went on to another lawn job. He's out.
yeah. Well, there's some interesting ramifications to that. We might need to talk to Anthony. But so what's left? I guess this is the part of the show where we thank everyone for showing up and helping us to celebrate 200 episodes of the flagship, and again about 650 overall episodes over the span of 4+ years. We love you all. We appreciate your ongoing support. You're amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, if you're new to the channel, please help support by subscribing. First of all, I talked about all these people from over 50 countries that have watched our content, some 650,000 views or something like that. Over half of the people that watch our content are not subscribed.
Oh man.
So it
What do you
would be
think that
very
is?
helpful.
Do you think they're like what?
I don't
like,
know.
We had 40,000 people watch an episode. Do you think they were just like,
I don't know.
Mash's mic sucks, and I'm not going to subscribe?
He's speaking from a well. There's
Like, screw
something
that.
weird, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, even myself, I find myself reluctant to give subscriptions to people's things. And I'll watch their shit all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's weird. It's definitely a weird phenomenon.
I don't just auto subscribe to anything either. But if it's something that I watch regularly, I'll subscribe to it just because I am a content creator and I know how important it is
That's
to
true.
have people subscribe. So if it's something I watch once a month, no, I won't necessarily subscribe to that because I don't want a bunch of garbage in my feed. But here's the thing. Like, I don't even navigate off of my subscriptions feed anyway. Most of the time, I just look at what YouTube recommends to me. And it doesn't matter if you subscribe or not. They're going to recommend it to you anyway. So I guess if there are a lot of people out there like me that really don't use it, that could be a good reason why people don't really subscribe, is because it's not as important as a lot of people think it is. But it is important to us
That's
because, for many reasons it's important to us. But if you could, please click the red button and ring the bell so that you can be notified next time we go live, which should, by all rights, be this Friday. We'll do a little bit of talk, a little bit of live gameplay, preparing for Game of the Month, which will fall on Sunday next week.
Can I ask a favor?
Sure.
Can I ask a favor? And nobody in chat claim that shitty ass game that PD just put out there. Nobody in chat better claim that shit. Leave it right where it is. PD, take that shitty game.
I
put
got
it back
it.
in your library.
I got it.
No, don't
got
claim
it.
it. Don't do it. They'll think that people like it if they have people claiming those games. Leave it. Just
Game
leave
of the
it,
year,
leave
bro.
it where it is.
Game of the year.
Let
Game
it
of the
lie.
year.
Let it
Hey,
lie.
Ryan Brandon got blocked on Twitter because he called out Ian Hamilton for that, and he blocked him.
Yeah, that's true.
What, did he
That is
really?
true.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't even know it was even Ian Hamilton. I think it was Harry Baker, which I love Harry Baker. He's a really good dude. I got a chance to meet him in Germany. I just wanted, Harry, what is up, dude?
Did you say something?
No, I didn't. I should have.
That's
I
such
should've.
an awkward conversation.
Can you imagine
really
having those
can't.
conversations?
I don't think you
I mean, he's like one of the nicest guys in the world, man. And I'm meeting him. I'm like, yeah, Harry, I love you, but why in the world would you pick What the Bat as game of the year? I just, you want to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Money.
We got a corporate zombie. 10 pounds. Is that a pound? Such a great show, guys. 200. Woo, an apple a day keeps Anthony apparently away. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
let's not forget Prophecy 777 with the $2.99 Australian says, thanks for the show. Get to bed, legends. Alien emoji. Thank you as well, Prophecy. Thank you to everyone who donated. By the way, if you'd like to donate on the reg, as we like to say, you can do so on Patreon. $3 a month. That's all we ask. You get access to our weekly show notes. You get insider updates and exclusive content. For example, we ran a new intro today as a part of our 200th episode. That will be the new intro going forward, probably for the next year. But it was our patrons who were first to see it, as I shared it with them live earlier today. As soon as I finished up the edit on it, you all were the first. You saw it before Ruuts even saw it. So,
Mash
did you share?
told-
Yeah, I didn't even see it. Did you share them the new? Share with them the new Strangers in the Night opening
I haven't done that one.
that you made for
Ma-
us?
Mash,
What?
Mash, Mash told me that you were doing a new intro every week. What do you mean every
Yeah,
year?
that's what you said.
Wes is like,
Yeah.
that fucking thing took me. How long did that take you, Wes?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna need some time off work every week. I need to go down to only working 4 days if I'm doing a new intro every week.
That's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. We need
Anyways.
we need a Strangers in the Night one though. Can we steal the old virtual
could.
Strangers one for Strangers in the Night?
No, I've got the idea for that one. It's just I got to get in and collect the clips for it.
All right.
Which, by the way, doing this one was very difficult because a lot of my footage is not where it's supposed to be, which is on my PlayStation. A lot of the clips that I recorded on my PlayStation, for whatever reason, were not on my USB drive after I transferred everything over.
What a bummer.
Yeah, so I was literally, I wasn't sure I was going to have enough footage to do a good intro, but luckily for me, we had just enough to pull it off.
That's
but like,
crazy.
if you notice, none of my Horizon clips are in there. I had a lot better stuff for Synapse that didn't make it in there. Same thing with Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners 2, which I did have some good clips for that, but I had a lot better ones that I lost. So, yeah, it is what it is, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah. The more hard work you got to take care of. Gamer Tags in chat. He's asking if we're going to have another show in 13 hours from now.
I'm not opposed to that.
Let's just go 13 hours straight.
Yeah. Let's do one right now. Let's start the show.
PSVR 2 enthusiast says, "What the Bat has to be better than Cactus Cowboy." I would bet that Cactus Cowboy is a better game than What the Bat.
Me too.
I would bet that I never want to find out how either of those games are. I'm like PD. I've never been into What the Bat, and I'm now starting to take tremendous pride in that fact.
Cactus Cowboy, at least it's a shooter, and it's challenging. So that immediately.
But there's no bat.
Puts it ahead of what. There is no bat. That's true.
Yeah.
PD and GT say they have it on every platform, and they have not ever played it yet. You need to play it just to see how shitty it is.
Well, this is the thing.
That's the reason why to not play it.
Right. It's like if somebody comes up to me,
shitty.
if somebody comes up to me and they try to tell me that a glass of milk tastes weird, here, try it. I'm not gonna. I'm taking your word for it. It tastes weird. Pour it out.
You need to try it to know how weird it is. Bro.
Yeah. How about you?
It does work for some things though. Like literally, I went and watched GT play this god awful game that's probably worse than What the Bat called the Ultimate Slap Fight Ultimate Champion or something like that. And I had to go play it just because he said this is the best game ever, and I'm like, this I have to see for myself. And it is the worst. It's not the best. It's not the worst best game ever, or it's not like so bad it's good. It's not. It's just dog shit.
But it's got no sound, and it's got the very, very loud smack.
That's all it is. It's just a smack. Terrible.
Anyways, thank you to our patrons out there who help keep the ship afloat and help us do things like give away hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards on our anniversary episode. You all are awesome. But if you don't have money to donate, that's okay. We still love you. We have the hookup for you as well because our Discord server is 100% free, and this is where we live 24/7, 365, lurking, sharing music, sharing jokes, playing VR games together, watching police chases, and so on and so forth. We This is where our community lives, and we can still log in. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So,
Until tomorrow for some reason.
Yeah, right.
all right. But you'll find an invitation link in the description down below. Join us. You will be greeted at the door, I assure you. It's an amazing community and probably the best thing that we've done since we started doing this.
GT wants to do a top 10 bad games you should play but are also awful list tomorrow.
I got that list to go right now. I could do it right
We
now.
do it on the show tomorrow.
I'm down. I'm
Well,
down.
I mean,
I
if
have
you-
it. I have a list in my head right now.
Judging by the reviews that have come out this year on PSVR games, we could go like Firewall, Crossfire, Synapse, Hubris, all these terrible games, right?
The worst of the best. Or the best.
No, I think we should do the best of Steam VR like we used to do, and pick
yeah.
out a bunch of shovelware titles on there, like the presidential dildo game.
Yeah, President Erect. How will we have
Erect.
not found a game
That's
like
true.
that except for that show?
That is true.
But I'd be down for that. Everyone picks 5 shovelware titles to make fun of. That would be great. Corporate Zombie says, you know who else likes 69 concurrent viewers?
My mom!
She does.
Yes, she does.
That's true. Again, last reminder: if you didn't win any of the gift cards today, we're only halfway through it. We're giving away 4 more next Sunday during our Game of the Month episode. Just be sure to subscribe, leave a comment saying that you want to enter the second chance giveaway, and we will draw 4 more next week. So that is subscribe, that is Patreon, that is Discord. Am I forgetting anything else, dear Roots?
Well, I think that's it. Except for we love you guys. We love all of you. Even the
We
jerks.
love all of you. That's Brian Paul's thing, but we'll do it anyway. My name is Wes Dillon, and I love you all.
My name is Eric, and I tolerate most of you.
Right. Most of you are great.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Most.
Almost everyone in the chat is an awesome person.
There's a
Pretty much.
couple of you that aren't, but not you or you, but you. Yes, you.
We just endear ourselves so much.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not talking about you.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
you.
we're talking about the
We're
other
talking
people.
about you.
Yeah.
Talk about that other guy. What the
I hate
hell's
that
his
guy.
problem? Anyway, it's been cool, guys. It's been fun. It's been a couple weeks. I did say that we would talk a little bit about 2023 show. So we just
Okay.
came off of a couple week hiatus. 'Cause I went to a rock festival last weekend, and I'm very busy since then, so I haven't had a chance to play much VR, which is why we didn't go on Friday. But it was a well needed break from doing the channel thing. With that said, I'm very happy to be back. But the truth of the matter is, we're only back for about 6 or 7 more weeks, and then we're going to be on a long, extended break that we take every year, right after Thanksgiving, as we prepare for the behemoth that is the 2023 show. So it's that time again to start talking about this stuff, guys, because pretty soon we're going to have to switch our focus from Game of the Month to Game of the Year, and we're really not that far off from that moment. So we'll, like I said a moment ago, we're going to be on a good 6 to 7 week run here with tons of releases, some of which are big budget VR releases. We're going to have a new headset launch. It's going to be a fast and furious rest of the year. But after that, our episodes are going to be more sporadic. There will be episodes in late November and throughout December, but it'll be more of a just when we have a minute type of thing to get in and kind of do some housekeeping with regard to Game of the Year and all of the other awards that we name. Um, so just kind of mentally preparing everyone for that. We're about to go on a pretty good run, but it's going to be over with before you know it, and then it's going to be the holiday season, and we will be on a break for that.
Simplex,
Developers.
I was going to say,
I'm
gave
sorry.
a super chat. Says thanks for bringing back Anthony.
Oh, thank you for the 10 Polish currency, whatever that is. And yeah, it was great to have Anthony back. Thanks, by the way, to Anthony for doing that interview. We're sorry that it got cut short due to Apple blocking our video, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to upload that interview as a standalone episode, probably tomorrow evening or on Tuesday sometime.
Yeah, now it'll be separated, so it'll be better anyway.
Yeah. So thanks to Anthony. Thanks to everyone who showed up. Thanks to everyone who donated. Again, one of the big things about being part of our Patreon is that you get to help us select the winners of the 2023 show awards. We meet every December, typically inside a big screen, but I don't think big screen is going to be big enough to hold it this year. So we'll probably have to move to a different venue, maybe I don't know, maybe Horizon Worlds or VR Chat, something that can handle more people to deliberate. Probably VR Chat, honestly, because it's on more platforms, and we need that screen, that shared screen, to go through all the stuff. So, anyway, if you want to be a part of that, be sure to join us on Patreon, and otherwise, we'll talk to you all really soon. For Ruuts and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you in probably tomorrow on the VR CruCast. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.